Wow, we did it. We made it. Welcome to Monster Truck Madness. Tickets available now. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Hey, how's everybody doing today? I gotta clean my glasses. I can't see. Sunday. Welcome on in, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday, since I decided to know what day it was today. For once. Okay. For once. Oh, there's glasses. Now I can see all you beautiful people. Now I can see all y'all. Oh my goodness. What is going on, everybody? Corey, what's going on, brother? As normal. Ryan, how you doing? Feli, how's everybody doing over there? Motley, Feisty, VJ, Elizabeth, all in the house. Tracy, Raul, Chester, Carolyn. Even Sodium's here. Even Sodium's here. We got all the folks here. Ash and Lady, how's everybody doing today? Raul is Kyle. Hey, Tara. Well, now that Tara's here, now all the important people are here. Okay. We couldn't say all the important people were here until Tara showed up. So you just can't make that claim, right? You just can't make that claim. I'm Salt. What is going on here? Raul is Kyle. Feisty is Salt. I'm so confused. Tara been in here. That's true. Tara been in these streets. All right. Tara been in these streets. In these TikTok streets. Sodium is Salt. Yeah, of course he's. Stop. What? Y'all world. Hey, Cat Mom. How you doing? Oh my goodness. I am dehydrated today. I normally drink just like an excessive amount of water. Like I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water. And I have only gone through like one bottle today, which is weird for me. All right. Which is weird for me. I'm normally like, I have my coffee in the morning and then it's just water until I get ready to have like some pre-workout for the gym. Okay. But today I only went through like one bottle. So I'm feeling a little dehydrated today. So I'm gonna try to play a little catch up. Did MAGA give up their guns today? Yeah, apparently, all that talk about with Kamala Harris being like, oh, I want like voluntary buybacks. Apparently, that's the one thing from MAGA that they liked. Apparently, big fans of Voluntarily giving up your weapon. Who would have thought? Did not have that on my 2026 bingo card. I'm not going to lie. All right. Did not have that on my 2026 bingo card. Had a lot of things. So, oh, they have to. They have to give it up. I mean, Carolyn Levitt and everybody else came out and said there is absolutely no reason to have a gun, right? And let's also remember, okay? I saw Kash Patel do it. I saw Kristi Noem do it. I saw Caroline Levitt do it. You know, they all blamed the gun for Alex Peretti dying. It's crazy. I guess it can be the gun's fault. After all this time they've been telling me it's not the guns, it's the people. But now all of a sudden, all right, now all of a sudden it's on the guns. Strange. Weird turn of events. Guys, we're not done with we're not done with January yet. Okay? All right? We're not through January yet. All right? In case anyone was wondering. Just in case you're wondering, we're still not through January. We're still this is January still. I just want to let everyone know, like, at least we like figured it out quickly. You know what I'm saying? At least we figured it out quickly. Cause like all of us were like 2026, it's gonna be a better year. And like they just went ahead and got rid of any idea of that happening like 3 weeks in. They were like, we're not even gonna pretend for a few weeks that 2026 is gonna be better. I love Trump. I'm independent, and the left is Waco. I mean, technically, you're right. Technically, you are right. As in, the left got killed for having guns by the government. So, technically, you are correct. The right, Trump, is the government in this case. Yeah. So, if you want to be completely technical. Okay. What did I ask my barber to do to give me a haircut? I don't ask him to do anything, and I haven't had a haircut in like 3 weeks. What are you talking about? Do you guys, I swear, I really do think people like, because this is like a trend. All right. This is like a trend. People think I get a haircut every single time I come on live. Like every single day, I have at least one person tell me, oh, nice fresh cut. Does not matter if I haven't had a haircut in a month. Every single day, someone tells me fresh cut. And then everybody asks about my barber and which cut. The only day that nobody asked me about my haircut was the day I got it. I got on here, right? The day I got a haircut, not one negative comment the whole day. Why do I care? Oh, I don't care what they think. I'm gorgeous. That's the one good thing about doing this. I get to stare at myself for a couple hours every single day. It's beautiful. I love it. All right. I can see how beautiful I look. Okay. It is funny how obsessed they are with it, though. Okay. It is funny how obsessed they are with me. It is crazy. All right. Just being true. Vanity, one of my favorite sins. One of my favorite sins too, to be honest with you. Yeah. Truthfully, one of my favorite sins also. Okay. I also quite enjoy gluttony. All right. Put me near a plate of tacos and I will be gluttony immediately. Okay? Just don't even worry about it. All right. Oh my goodness. Just that, yeah. All of the gluttony. All of it. And even better, the facial hair is starting to grow back out. It's starting to come back. Just barely. But it's starting. It is starting to get there, which I do really appreciate. It's like a little shadow right now, but we'll get there in a couple weeks. We'll get it back. We'll be in the back before. Why did I shave it? Because Ari had never seen me shaved, and she was like, "I want to see what you look like shaved," and I was like, "Okay." So I shaved it, and then I did it, and she was like, "You should immediately grow that back," and I was like, "No, you asked for this, so it's gonna stay for a week." So it's staying for at least a week, and now I'm growing it back out. So no, I'm so excited to be growing it back out. Oh, so much better. I'm so excited already. Do you want to know what her reaction? I did not film her reaction, but she immediately like froze, and then she was like, she saw it, and she was just like, "Well, that's gonna be an adjustment." That's all she said. She just froze, and she was like, "That's gonna be an adjustment." And I was like, "Thanks." Big Deluxe, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I said Article 2, Section 4, have good calls today. You're not trying to Article 2, Section 4 me, are you? I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Thank you so much, Bake. I appreciate that. Disassociate said, you kind of look like Brock from Pokemon. Okay. I don't know if that's a diss or a compliment, but I'm just gonna laugh at it and keep going. We're gonna see what's up. I don't know which one it is, but I'm down for it regardless. And Tad, thank you so much for the $5. Also said, dude, just think there are people that voted for Trump just for 2A. How's that going, idiots? They did that. And if they did do that, if they did vote for Trump just for 2A, then this is exactly what they get. Yeah. Then this is literally exactly what they get. Right? Because, I mean, we tried to warn them. We tried. Again, we guys, y'all were here with me. For y'all that have been following me for a while, y'all were here with me. Okay? Y'all were here with me. You guys were here when I told them. Doesn't really surprise me. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Hey, we were here. We were here. We told them. They didn't listen. Now they have to defend it too. That's the sad part. Now they have to defend it. They can't backtrack on it. They can't backtrack on Trump now. Well, they should, but they're not going to. Thank you so much, Tatted. This is what they say I look like. You guys agree? Why is Brock up? Because someone said I look like Brock from Pokemon with this haircut. Because someone said it, so therefore we threw it up there. It's not about backtracking on Trump. Oh, it is though, right? Like, so people have to decide. They either have to admit they voted wrong, right? When it came to 2A, they had to admit they voted wrong, right? Or they have to say that what Donald Trump did was pro 2A. That's really the only two options, right? I think that's the only two options. I think. Thanks again, Tatted. I appreciate that. Oh, let's get the headset on so I can hear some folks. Are you guys 2A guys now? Hey, I'm gonna give you a little hint here. Red fish, blue fish. I'm gonna tell you something. It's really funny. I'm gonna put that back up there. Are you guys 2A guys now? Here's a funny thing.
It's insane.
No one on the left stopped being 2A guys. All we did was just say what the Second Amendment does say and doesn't say. We read the Constitution for what it actually meant and what it actually was when it was written. Okay. And then we talked about it in context of the Supreme Court and what the Supreme Court said about the Second Amendment. And you guys lost your minds, okay, at us literally just talking about what the actual Second Amendment says, what the purpose of it was behind it, and the freaking Supreme Court, definitions of it. And you guys got upset about it. And so now that we're doing the exact same thing, and we're talking about what the Second Amendment says and what it was written for and what the Supreme Court interpretation of it is, we're doing the same thing. Now you think we're pro. See, before when we did the exact same thing, we were against. Now when we do it, we're pro. You guys just don't know what the Second Amendment says. That's the only difference. It's just you guys don't know what the Second Amendment says. That's all. I haven't changed. Okay? I haven't changed because the Constitution hasn't changed. You guys are the ones changing. Pat said there was no way I was going to vote for Kamala Harris. Oh. Well, all right. Why don't you come tell me why, sir? Why don't you come tell me why? Or even better, you should send me another super chat to tell me why. That'd be even better. I think that would probably hurt my feelings pretty good. I can already almost feel it hurt. You should try it. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that. And Chase, thank you so much also. I appreciate you. All right. Let's get this thing started. Let's open up the phone lines. Let's get to moving. And get to going. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications if you haven't already. If you'd like support, like you see, I do have super chats. I like to throw them up on the screen. Super stickers. Got my live gift goal. Got the little finger hearts going on over here too. So starting out really easy. So if you guys like support, I really appreciate you. And the Seahawks. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Awesome. What year were you born?
2006.
What month?
July.
Oh, you sounded not too sure about that.
I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure when you were born?
Yep.
All right. Why do you still support Trump?
Why do I? Because he's actually letting us keep our guns, unlike Kamala Harris. She wants to take them away from us, bro.
Literally, Donald Trump said we should take away people's guns without due process. Literally, they said that the entire Trump administration, including Kash Patel, including Caroline Leavitt, including all of these people, are literally saying right now that Alex Preddy didn't have the right to carry a concealed weapon that he owned, that it was licensed to him, and that he was licensed to carry. Where'd you go? Well, that one was pretty easy. Weird way to start. Bernard, thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate that. And Jeff, thank you so much. Said, in order for people to have a say that say that they were voting, in order for people to have to say they were wrong for voting for Trump, that means Kamala would have had to be the better option for Pro 2A. She was. She was a better option for Pro 2A before all of this happened. So this just adds to it, to be completely honest with you. But again, that is if you actually know what the Second Amendment says and actually understand it. And if you don't, and you think the Second Amendment means that everybody can just have all the guns that they ever wanted ever, and there should be no restriction on that, then that's not Kamala Harris not being pro 2A. That's you not understanding the Constitution. That's all. Let's move on to the next caller. Keep this thing going. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I will say this about between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. One of them was a licensed gun owner, and one of them wasn't. And you voted for the one that wasn't. Between Kamala Harris and Trump, one of them was a licensed gun owner, and the other one wasn't. And you chose the one that wasn't to be more pro 2A. Phone lines are back open, y'all. Let's keep this thing going. One of them had a ticket with the literal congressional sharpshooter 3 years running. And one of them had a vice president that fucks couches. You chose the couch fucker. Just saying. Just saying. That's the choices you made. Hello, how are you? All right, goodbye. Hello, how are you?
I think that Donald Trump is a kitty diddler and he should not be in power.
Agreed. All right, we're going to move on. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, boy?
You know, it's too early in the day for this.
Calm down, man.
It's too early in the day to listen to you call me boy. Hello, how are you? It might be the rest of my day. I have no problem with this being the rest of my day. Okay? I have no problem with this being the rest of my day. We can do this all night long. Yeah, it's too early in the day for me to deal with boy already in the call, right? Hello, how are you?
Donald Trump is trash.
Yeah, glad everybody's starting to realize that.
Yeah, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too. All right. Hello, how are you?
Jesus Christ is King, bro.
Hail Satan.
But also, I don't like Trump.
Well,
Yeah.
hello, how are you?
Pretty good. Yourself? I
I'm
was
excellent.
just, I just wanted to
Stand
see if I
by.
can get your,
Stand by. How old are you?
I am 19.
Awesome. What year were you born?
I was born in 2006.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
No, I do not. In fact, I didn't vote for Trump. But I was just interested in, getting like your opinion on why you think like Harris lost, because I've heard a lot of theories, but I just wanted to see if I can, pick your brain a little.
Oh, it was a big mix. It wasn't one thing. Yeah.
Right.
It was a mix
I'm-
of it was a mix of her having 100 days to run a campaign, which was the shortest campaign ever. It has to do with the fact that she's a woman, because let's be honest, no woman has ever won the presidency, and so obviously that shows something about our country, just being honest about it, right? It has to do with some of her inconsistencies. She was slightly inconsistent on some of her statements, which I felt she was like a little disingenuous at some points, because she was like kind of backtracking on some certain things. They tried to like make her more centered, and she's not that person, and so it just came off disingenuous. But there's quite a few of them.
Right. Do you think that like she did enough to like separate herself from Biden? Because I noticed that the Republican campaign did a lot to sort of group Harris in with the same sort of group that Biden was in. I wonder, is your opinion on that still like the same, or like did she do enough to sort of separate herself?
I don't think that was her job.
Oh.
Why would she need to separate herself so far from Biden, sir? Biden passed the largest infrastructure bill in American history. We were having freaking the best economic numbers in the industrialized world. Okay.
I do not doubt that, for a moment. And for the record, I did genuinely support Biden, but the problem was I wasn't sure if like the American like people sort of like saw or like felt that. And on the other side, I think Trump was really effective in giving the American people like something to blame almost. Now I'm not saying I support
that's what fascists do.
Yeah.
It's called scapegoating.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So here's the difference. You think that here's the difference between Biden and Trump. Truthfully, this is the difference between Biden and Trump. Biden did a whole bunch of really good stuff and then didn't take any credit for anything. Donald Trump doesn't do fuck all and takes credit for everything. Okay.
On that we can agree.
So if you want to ask me the number one reason why Kamala Harris lost, it's because of Biden. Right? Because Biden didn't make their presidency look to be anything good, right? So there was nothing for her to attach herself to. Even though there was a whole bunch of stuff that was good, right? Biden didn't do anything to actually prop that up to actually make them look good. That between that and him dropping out way late when he should have been a one-term president from the get-go, like was expected of him, all right, and given an actual chance for somebody else to run, would have actually created a situation where somebody actually had a true chance, and we could have had a full primary. But regardless, I'm going to move on because I'm trying to look for a Trump supporter. But I hope you have a wonderful day. All right.
All right. Of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one. All right, we're gonna keep this thing going. I appreciate you guys. I've had quite a few like friendlies. So if you're friendly and I hear that you're kind of a friendly, I'm just gonna probably just hang up on you. All right, because I'm trying to get some Trump supporters in here. So don't be offended if I do, or be offended. That doesn't really bother me either. Hello, how are you?
Hi. Trump is bad.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, do me a favor. Close your eyes and.
Hello, how are you?
All right, I apologize for calling you boy, all right, man? We're going to get it together now, all right?
Hello, how are you? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. How old are you?
38.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. This is probably the first time that our country's been pregnant in, about 100 years. As far as I can tell, somehow Trump has knocked up Denmark, and we are pregnant with Greenland. And I'm hoping that goes through to term. You know.
I don't know. I have nothing to say. It was both not funny and also not worth responding to. I don't know. Gregory, thank you so much for the $5. Said, did you know that the biracial baby? What about the biracial? What about a biracial baby?
Biracial baby.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 11.
Go play with Legos, dude. Like, why are you on a political live? Go play with Legos, dude. Did you know whenever he said the biracial baby, you guys ever watch The Other Guys? Like the movie The Other Guys? Where he's like, he shot Jeter. He's like, he's a biracial angel. He should have shot A-Rod. Sorry, that's I don't, Gregory, I don't know what you mean by this message. Okay, I truly don't. All right, but that's all I could think about. All right. Hello, how are you?
Doing good. Yeah, I support Trump still.
Awesome. How old are you?
42.
Awesome. Why is that?
I support. Biggest thing is like the law.
Hold on, stand by. There was more to that message and it didn't show up. So I have to clarify Gregory's message before it makes him sound look bad. Did you know the biracial baby birth rate increased 278% between 2010 and 2020? This is the statistic that YT supremacists. I guess there's more to that message. I'm not getting the rest of the message. I don't know why. I'm not. It seems like the rest of the message is the really important part too. But thank you, Gregory. Anyways, I'm sorry. What were you saying? I apologize.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that, but yeah, basically.
Are you a white
some law and
supremacist?
order. No.
Oh, okay. Well, I assume that's why. Because he said this is a statistic that white supremacists use.
Yeah, I never heard that. Yeah, but
You seem surprised.
yeah. But the thing, I didn't really hear what he said. I'm driving home from work right now. But basically, the reason I didn't even actually hear what he said too much, something about pregnancy or something like that. But and then you said something about biracial. But no, I just wanted some law and order in this country, man. Like, I was tired of people coming into our country illegally and taking advantage of us and not respecting our country or our laws and mooching off the taxpayers. And we can't afford that. And we got Americans in this country that we already need some more support in this country, and we're spending billions on people that came here illegally. So we can
100%. So you're totally against like crime, like felons, like people that take money from the American taxpayer. You're just like totally against that.
I'm felons and people taking advantage of the taxpayer. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Donald Trump, who's a literal 34 times felon, who is currently suing the United States government to literally steal $250 million from American taxpayers?
How do you steal $250 million?
Yeah, he's suing the Justice Department.
Yeah.
Yeah, who runs the Justice Department?
Yeah, I get it. So if he sues, we pay a price, but at the same time, we have to, whether civilian or in the government, we have to hold the government responsible when they do wrong. So,
but you're supporting that. What are you talking
us,
about, sir? Sir, you said you support law and order. You support freaking, being against criminals. You support freaking taxpayer dollars not going to criminals, but you are currently supporting a criminal taking American taxpayer dollars.
Well, the 34 criminal thing, that was another thing. So the Justice Department was completely rigged. If you actually, with integrity, like intellectual honesty, look at what they came out with him, it was political targeting, man. This is a bunch of BS stuff that they came out with. It was nonsense.
How was it political targeting?
It was nonsense. I haven't looked that much into it, but...
Then how can you tell me it's political targeting if you haven't looked into it?
Okay, it's just I've heard the basics, and I was like, this is nonsense. It's ridiculous. But that was like a year or two ago, so I kind of forgot all the ins and outs of the case. But
yeah, so perfect. So it was complete bullshit, and it was political targeting. Yet you have not looked into it and have no idea how.
Okay, well, why don't you educate me then? If you tell me what charges that were good that you think were legit.
How about all
And what
34
evidence they
because
had.
he literally admitted to the evidence?
Okay, so like what one? Like which one? Well, to give me one of the 34 of the charges.
You don't even know what he was
and
convicted of, sir?
Well, give me one. Give me one.
Well,
Now's your
how
chance
about this,
to
sir?
actually show.
Sir, I can give you all 34, okay? But I'm asking you if you even know one single one, okay? Because, all right, you're the one making the claim that it's fraudulent, right? So, like, I don't
No,
even have to make
you're-
the claim here, sir, because the court already
You made
convic-
the you
Sir,
you
sir,
made the claim that
he
it was legit. So
sir, he was
I
convicted.
just don't agree with
He
that.
was convicted unanimously by a jury of his peers, including a jury that had confirmed Trump supporters on it. So I don't need the burden of proof, sir. I've seen the evidence. The jury convicted him, right? You say you're for law and order, right? Which law and order, right, would also assume that I believe you believe in the court system to a point, right? So that the court system, if a jury of your peers unanimously convicts someone of a crime, that maybe you would be for that, right? I'm trying to judge your mindset here, sir, because again, It to me, it's pretty cut and dry. He was convicted in a court of law unanimously by a jury of his peers, according to the law, with evidence that he freaking admitted to. Like, I don't know how you get like more guilty than that. But it sounds like you're calling it political theater, and you don't know what any of the charges are, which just doesn't seem to make much sense to me. How can you call something political theater if you don't know what the charges are?
So falsifying business records. So this is the whole thing when he was buying real estate, and then he went to the bank agreed. Okay, yes, we'll take this price, and he paid the loan back, and it happened like a long time ago. Yeah, I just don't agree. I think they just rigged the system against him.
Yeah, that's not what his felonies were for, sir.
Yeah, I mean everybody in business was saying this has never happened. This is unprecedented. They were just looking and digging and trying to find something, and good for them. And so people like you will like use that. But if I just think it was a bunch of nonsense, and I'll study it. So next time I talk to someone like you, but nonetheless, I don't like when people from other countries that even if I was against him doing, let's say suing for $250 million, I still don't like when there's just rampant crime in this country and there's no law and order, and people, especially when you come from another country and you don't assimilate, you don't respect our culture, you don't respect our laws, and you come in here and you suck off the taxpayer system.
Okay.
Well,
first of all,
it's just
all of those things you said about Donald Trump, those were a separate civil case, and none of that had to do like any of the real estate stuff. None of that had to do a single thing with his 34 felonies.
Okay, well, I'll look into it later, but nonetheless.
Yeah. Sir, hold on, sir. I'm not finished. You said a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. So that's not what his 34 felonies are about. Okay. And I want to be very, very clear, sir. If you're going to claim something is political theater, was a targeted attack, you should know what you're claiming is political theater. Okay. That's not what happened, sir. Sir, he wrote fraudulent checks, okay, and gave them to his lawyer. All right. Knowing that the checks were fraudulent. All right. Knowing that they were not going to the purpose that he said they were going to. And he did that in order to cover up his relationship, right? In order to hide that from the voters. That's what he did. It wasn't a targeted attack. Nobody went after him to find out this information. It was actually Republicans who called his lawyer up to the congressional floor, right? And during that testimony, his lawyer admitted to those crimes. And so that's when the DOJ started looking into like whether this was happening or not. And they found it all out to be true. And then they presented the evidence to Trump. And then he said that he signed them. Okay. So again, none of this was political theater, sir. It was about as cut and dry as you get. All right. And that's not even, doesn't even have to do with the other like 50 plus indictments that he actually had, right? That never went to trial because he became president. But I'm just want to be very clear, sir. We could have a conversation about what you think about the law and all that sort of stuff. But if you're saying that it's fraudulent and you don't know what it is, then you don't actually believe in law and order. You just believe in supporting Trump no matter what happens.
You know what I'll do? I'll save your number. I don't know how often you get on here. I just was scrolling through the reels on YouTube, but I'll call back. I'm going to study it first, but at the same note, I can still be against illegals.
I was getting
onto
that part, sir. I was getting onto that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So cool. Nobody's for that. Okay. So nobody's for just wide open borders, just everybody coming in. Literally 0 people are for that. Okay. So you having that claim doesn't make you pro or against Trump. If you want to be actually completely honest, the largest freaking immigration reform bill that actually would have put the highest restrictions and given the most power to border protection was under the Biden administration that was specifically stopped by Donald Trump. Right. So if you want to be completely honest, voting for Donald Trump is actually a vote against what would have been the largest immigration bill in 50 years in this country. But outside of all of that, sir, you said that they're leeching off our system. That's definitely not true. Okay, the last recordable year of taxes, they paid almost $100 billion in taxes, right? So, and they cost the federal government like $33 billion. They paid like $22 billion into Social Security. They can't even claim Social Security. So not only are they not leeching off of our system, but they're actually putting money back into our system. Okay. And on top of that, you said you don't want them here committing crimes. Well, sir, I don't want anybody committing crimes. But if we're talking about people committing crimes, right? Undocumented immigrants commit a violent crime at a rate 30 times less than American citizens do per capita. All right. So while I 100% am with you, sir, I don't want just open borders. I don't want just everybody coming in. I don't want people committing crimes and all that sort of stuff. The migrants aren't the problem with that system. Okay. They're not the issue. All right. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll look into those numbers about the 100 billion. I highly doubt it, but I'll look into it.
98 billion if you want to be exactly.
Yeah. So
98 billion.
Yeah, but even if it's 100 billion, like if I really don't think, but I'll look into it because I think we spend way more in tax dollars on people here illegally, if you add everything up, compared to the tax revenue we get from illegal specifically.
Yeah, and I'm talking about specifically undocumented people. So that is $98 billion in just undocumented people. That's not including documented immigrants.
I want to talk about the policy you said under Biden. They were putting out this policy. How come Trump was way more effective and getting people, stopping people from coming in illegally without spending, he just enforced the law. How come he didn't have to pass this big old policy and get it done? How come Trump was able to do it and Biden was not?
First of all, sir, the policy that Donald Trump put in had nothing to do with stopping undocumented immigrants. All that Donald Trump's policy did, all of his executive orders, all it did was shut down legal ports of entry and asylum. Right? So people that were actually mostly legally trying to come here now can no longer come here. And that shuts down freaking border encounters. And then he claims border encounters are the numbers that matter, when in reality, that the overwhelming majority of border encounters are people that are coming over here to seek asylum. But the other thing that he did, right, is treat people just really shitty. Right? He built things like concentration camps, like Alligator Alcatraz, right? He freaking deported people to things like CCOT, a prison very well known for torture. He deported people to countries that they weren't from, right? And so what he did is he was just really inhumane and lacked empathy to any human being and treated them horribly, like that 5-year-old kid that's sitting in a detention center instead of going to school right now. And when you treat people horribly, now they're just afraid to do anything, whether it's legally or illegally, right? They're just afraid to come here, and because they're afraid they're going to get tortured. And I think that's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem. You guys called Alligator Alcatraz. I thought that was hilarious.
It's
I have
a literal
no issue with that at all.
It's you find a concentration camp.
Don't come here illegally.
Yeah, sir. You literally are saying a concentration camp is good. See, and that's really the big difference. No, sir, I'm not.
You're calling it a concentration.
No, because it is a concentration camp. Because it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Well, sir, what's the definition of a concentration camp?
You tell me, but if you say concentration camp, I'm going back to Hitler Germany, where people were not illegals. They were just because of maybe their sexual orientation or because of their religious background being Jewish. They were forced in there. They were starved. They were forced to work in labor camp. I mean, that's the concentration camp. So when people use the word concentration camp, that has a severe.
Yeah. So those were death camps. Okay. What you're describing is a death camp, not a concentration camp. Okay.
Okay,
We've had
so
concentration camps in many times in the United States, including in World War II, right? Where we freaking put, Japanese
yeah.
people into concentration camps, but we weren't starving them out. We weren't sending them into freaking gas chambers, right? But it's still a concentration camp, right? So your feelings that are derived from me saying concentration camp doesn't change that it's a concentration camp, right? So concentration camps, and here's the definition for you, okay, are facilities designed to detain people, often without trial, based off their identity, perceived threat, or political views rather than individual crimes. Historically, these camps have been used for detention, forced labor, or extermination. So, detain people. That's what
I'll
the
definition of it then.
Yeah,
Because you said even without individual crimes, these people committed crimes. They came here illegally.
No, actually,
That's a crime.
the large majority of them didn't come here illegally. Yeah, most of them came here legally and then stayed here past that time, and that's actually not.
So that's a crime.
No, that's a civil
that's a
infraction,
crime.
actually.
So it's legal.
No, it's a civil infraction.
So it's illegal.
It's a civil infraction. That's not a criminal infraction. There's a difference between a civil infraction and a criminal infraction. Okay.
They're here illegally.
So I'll give you
illegally.
I'll give you an example. Okay. Donald Trump was found civilly liable, okay, for sexually assaulting someone. Okay. He's not in jail for that because it was a civil infraction. Okay. Yes, it is still a crime, and yes, he's still held liable for that, right? But okay, he can't be held criminally liable for it, right? This is talking about crimes that people went to trial for. So when I said designed to detain people often without trial, that's the issue. In order to be a criminal, you have to have due process. You have to have a criminal trial, right? So yes, they are here without documentation. Yes, that is against the law on a civil matter, but it doesn't mean that they can be sent to prison without a trial. Make sense?
Yeah, send them to alligator Alcatraz until they go back to their own country. You can call it a concentration camp if you want to, but you're here illegally. That's your problem.
Sir. Again, it's not me calling it a concentration camp. It is a concentration camp, whether you like it or not. Okay. And whenever, sir, you start like defending concentration camps, just to let you know, history has looked very, very bad on that. All right. Can you please name one time in our history where being in favor of concentration camps was a good thing?
Well, I wasn't in support of the Japanese one when we had the Japanese in there, and
I doubt you were alive,
when we actually called things concentration camps, and then the one in Europe under Hitler.
Yeah.
So that's like I say, you can call it a concentration camp, and you called it civil infraction versus a criminal offense, and they're here illegally. They did not obey the law.
Can you answer my question, sir? At what time, can you please give me a time in history where being on the side of being in favor of concentration camps was the right call?
Right now, putting them in alligator Alcatraz.
No, in history, sir. Do you not know what the word history means?
History is now, and anything before now.
No, history is not now. Okay. Now is now. History is history. So in any of previous times in the history of the world, when has concentration camps been good?
Well, I can only think of two, and then I wasn't for it in both those times.
Okay, gotcha. So let me be very clear, sir. You would be on the side of putting the Japanese in concentration camps. You would have been on the side of the Nazis sending people to concentration camps if you're in favor of the concentration camps now. Okay. And you finding it funny that that human beings are being treated inhumanely, okay, over, even if it is on a criminal side, right? Because crossing the border illegally is a criminal offense, over a misdemeanor, a Class C misdemeanor, right? Which is on the same like level in our law as jaywalking. Right? If you're in favor of putting people into concentration camps for Class C misdemeanors without trial, okay, just let you know you are on the wrong side of history. I just want to let you know that. Okay?
That's your opinion. I don't call it inhumane. They're getting fed. They're fine. They'll be okay.
Yeah,
I don't
actually,
know if
we have proof of rampant freaking disease, of them not being fed enough food and them being starved out, of incorrect facilities. We have documentation of all of those things in these facilities. They're absolutely horrible. People are literally dying in these fucking facilities, dude.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
There was
I got a good fix for that.
Yeah, there was actually
I got a good fix for that.
Yeah, there was
obey our laws and don't come here illegally.
Oh, you mean obey our laws like Donald Trump didn't?
That's what you're going back to whataboutism.
No,
So
no,
I'm
sir. It's not
talking about
whataboutism, sir. It's just completely disingenuous and sad
about what about
for
the,
you
I don't
to
care if it's
sit
Trump
here,
or who
sir.
else.
Sir, it's just disingenuous and sad for you to say I support a felon, and also these guys who did misdemeanors should be freaking killed in a prison.
He's doing the job. He's getting the job done.
He's getting
They're
the
being
job
taken care
done.
of just fine. People die.
You know, that's
They're
exactly
not
what
being treated
you know. That's
inhumanely.
exactly what they said about Hitler. Is he's getting the job done? That's exactly what they said about him. That's crazy.
Yeah. You can compare me to Hitler because I mean, Hitler liked dogs. He liked paintings too. So I guess I'm Hitler because I like paintings too. I mean, like
I didn't call you Hitler, sir. I just said you would have been. I didn't call you Hitler. I just said
that's
you
what
would
they
have been
said
a
about
fan.
Hitler too. So you're comparing me to liking Hitler because they said, oh well, it's getting the job done. That's what they said about Hitler. So you're comparing me to liking Hitler.
He
because
sent
I like
people to
Trump.
concentration camps, and they said that he was getting the job done just like you are.
So do you
It's a
think the
dead
alligator
comparison.
Alcatraz? Do you think alligator Alcatraz is equivalent to the concentration camps that we did the Japanese and to that Hitler did to Europeans? Let's use
Not
Hitler
yet.
specifically.
But guess
'cause
what?
You brought up Hitler.
None of those concentration
not yet.
sir. None of those
So let's
concentration.
leave it alone. Then.
No, sir.
So let's leave Hitler
Well,
out of it.
sir. See, all of those concentration camps didn't start how they ended. Okay, like German death camps didn't start as death camps, right? They started as concentration camps where where Hitler would specifically send Jews and other immigrants that he didn't like. That's how they started. And then they left it alone, and then it became those things, sir. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm against it to stop it from becoming those things. Because encouraging those things, okay, is what allows them to lead to those things, all right? For some reason, and maybe you guys, like people like you, that just haven't studied history enough to understand that there's a walk up to these things. It's not one day nothing, next day death camp. Okay? It's not one day nothing, one day work, next day work camp. Okay? There is a lead up to these things, and they all were led up by exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, but we don't want them in alligator Alcatraz. We want them back in their own country. We don't. That's a difference. They were forced to stay. Like in Europe,
Sir,
they
then
weren't
you can-
allowed to
sir,
leave. We
sir.
don't mind if they leave. They go back to their own country.
Sir, what happened to the 1,200 people that are just missing from alligator Alcatraz? We don't even know where they're at.
What about can they leave and just go back to their own country?
We don't
They
know
can
where they're
skip
at, sir. They
No, we
literally
don't- we
got
don't
sent
even-
there and disappeared.
I can't speak to that, man.
Well,
and
you should
can't either. I
look
don't know what
into it
happened.
before, sir. It sounds like you have a lot of very, very strong opinions about a lot of things that you have done zero research on.
Well, you've done a lot of research on your end. I get it. Yeah, and you're bringing up stuff that I just don't look into. The whole thing was shady, and nonetheless, you're bringing up alligator Alcatraz. You can't deny the fact that we're not forcing them to stay there. We're literally giving them money if they voluntarily go back to their own country. So you're acting like America
Those
or
aren't
Trump
the people that are going
or
to alligator
DeSantis.
Alcatraz, sir. Those are different people. You understand that, right?
I'm talking about illegals. If illegals
Yeah,
are there,
sir,
that's for them. They shouldn't
that's-
be here illegally.
Oh, okay. So again, sir, you're advocating for someone being sent to a concentration camp without trial for a misdemeanor. Just go ahead and say it, sir.
They can. No, I'm okay with them obeying our laws and saying, "Hey, we don't want you in this country illegally."
You are advocating for people to be sent to a concentration camp without due process because of a misdemeanor.
If I went to another country illegally,
Sir, I don't think you've
No,
been to
I'm gonna
another.
answer your
No,
question.
no, you're not
I'll answer your
answering my
question.
fucking question because
I will,
in no
I will.
other country does this exist. Okay, outside of like the really, really horrible ones.
Wow.
Like North Korea,
Wow.
it exists.
Dude, you need to travel a little bit, man.
I've
There's
lived in
definitely-
4
if you-
different
if I-
countries.
if
How
I
many
go
have you
to
lived
a-
in?
I've lived in a couple different countries.
I've lived in
Not for
4
that
different
long, but-
ones, including on 3 different continents. Okay, I've been to plenty of countries, sir. I lived in Italy for a while. Guess what, sir? If
Italy's a nice country, dude. Italy's a nice European country.
Are we not
dude.
a nice country?
We're in a nice country, but
Oh.
you need to go to some other countries, dude.
Like which ones?
Most countries in the world.
Like which ones?
Africa, South American
Africa
countries.
is not a country, and neither is South America.
African ones. African countries.
Oh.
Like a country within Africa.
Oh, there's lots of countries within Africa. Would you like to be more specific?
If you go to, there's a lot of countries. I mean, that's where I stayed. I was in South Africa and Nigeria for a year.
Oh.
So if you go to certain countries in Africa illegally, Yeah, dude. There's not even going to be you're just going to be kicked out right away. They're not going to play that nonsense. There's a lot of
Sir,
countries
I'm
in
not
Africa.
arguing about kicking someone out. Sir,
Yeah,
if
that's what we should do.
Donald
There should be a
Trump,
trial or
sir,
anything.
sir,
You're not here illegally?
sir, if Donald Trump was humanely deporting people from this country, then I don't have too much of a huge issue with that. I mean, I don't think it's right, especially for people who've been here since they were children. But if Donald Trump
What's
was sending
humane?
out his
Do they need a
people,
trial?
sir, if people were just being deported, sir, I'm talking. If people were just
Okay.
humanely being deported from this country, okay, that's one thing. That's not what's happening. We are talking about people being sent to concentration camps. Please tell me what industrialized nation on this planet besides us is sending people to concentration camps.
I didn't hear the last part.
Please tell me
The
what
last,
industrialized nation on this planet, right? Or what old school way of calling it, what first world country, okay, on this planet is sending people to concentration camps except for us.
We're the leaders. We're doing the right thing, and the European
Sir,
nations should follow because they're all having issues.
Can you name one?
They're not doing it. They should be doing it.
Okay,
That's
so
why
when
Europe is in
you
a mess right
said,
now.
sir, when you said if I go to any of these countries across the world, the same thing was going to happen, you lied because it's not happening
No, I
in any
didn't
of
say
these
that.
other you absolutely did, sir. Please don't get to the point where you're denying what
No,
you've already said,
I didn't finish
sir.
my
It
sentence. What I
really
was
does.
gonna-
It's really not
No,
helpful.
you cut
sir.
me off. What I was going to say, when you go to other countries and then you jumped in. What I was going to say is when you go to other countries, they have rules and laws too, man. So when you go there,
So do we.
If I were to
And
go
if
to
Donald
if I were to go to
Trump
South America,
was
or
deporting people humanely, then we wouldn't have an issue. Use your ears. Can you hear me? The issue
now you're
is
just
not
being
Donald Trump
disrespectful.
deporting people. Donald Trump unfortunately has the right to deport people. He shouldn't, okay? Because he's freaking being horrible to people and kicking people out of here that were trying to do things the right way, okay? And I think that that's horrible. But if it was just him humanely taking people that were here illegally and deporting them to other countries, then I don't have too much to say about that because the Constitution gives him pretty good broad freaking ability to do that. But when he starts beating people up in vans or sending out ICE to beat people up, put them in cuffs, American citizens, when he's literally having his literal little ICE Gestapo people going around and they're unaliving people in the streets like Renee Good, like Alex Preddy, like Keith Porter, like the gentleman today that I don't even know his name yet. Okay. And these are just the people that have happened just recently, right? In the last 2 months that have been unalived by them. Then we're not talking about the same thing, sir. Joe Biden deported more people in 2024 than Donald Trump did in 2025. If it was just deportations, it's not the issue. It's the inhumanity and it's the lack of empathy, okay, that Donald Trump is displaying. That is the problem.
Do you, when you say humanely, should these people that are here illegally, should they have a trial? Should they have a right to trial before we deport them?
If you're deporting them to a prison, yes. If you're just deporting
No,
them,
just
no.
going back to their country. You're not here illegally.
It depends on where they were caught and how long they've been here and what part of the immigration system they were in.
Yeah,
If you're caught at the border, no, there is a general rule. I think it's within 100 miles of the border, right? As people come in, then you are allowed to deport them, right? And it's again, you're just deporting them, and deportation is just a civil penalty. It's not a criminal proceeding, so therefore, there's no crime.
Okay, so in certain situations, like if they're at the border, we can turn them right back to their own country. But if they've been here for a couple of months and we find them, someone gets pulled over for a speeding, and then he checks the IDs. And he checks this person's. He's like, he's not here legally. He's been here for a couple months. Can we just deport him straight back as soon as we find out?
Well, it might not need a trial, but you would
give
require a deportation order from a judge. Yeah.
Deportation order? Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. It may not require a trial, but you would need an immigration judge in order to do that. But right now, we're not even going that far. We're not getting judges involved at all. I mean, literally, there was a memo that just went out to ICE saying that they can bust down the door of people's houses without a judicial warrant.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Let me ask you this.
Well, hold on. Then let's not bypass that. That just came out that right now, okay, ICE is being taught that they can come to your front door, bust down your door without a judicial warrant. Okay, just some ICE officer saying, hey, I think that there's somebody that's undocumented in there. And then they can take you, they can cuff you, they can throw you, and they can detain you at something without even giving you the option to prove whether you're a U.S. citizen or not.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, sir, but these are the things that I'm talking about. Okay, these are the things that are happening. This is the lack of due process that is happening in the United States. Not every part of due process is a full criminal trial. Part of due process is getting a judicial warrant. Part of due process, okay, is having reasonable cause, right? Like probable cause to enter someone's house. These are all, part of due process is giving someone the ability to like show their passport. Like if I'm detained, to be able to show my passport before I'm put in cuffs and taken to detention, and I sit in detention for a week before I'm allowed to, you know, contact anyone or have my passport brought, right?
Yeah, if that's actually happened, I don't agree with you. You know, if you're here legally and I'm like, hey, my ID is right here, hold up a second, you know?
So they literally took a 5-year-old boy
if you're
from a bus stop.
What's that?
They literally took a 5-year-old boy from a bus stop.
Oh, you mean the one the other day where the dad was illegal and he left his kid because he didn't want to get caught, and so the ICE like took him and took care of him because his dad left
Except
him?
for none of that happened. Yeah.
Is that I'm just asking if that's what you're talking about?
But none of what you said happened. Yes. The
So
situation
the dad
is
didn't
correct.
leave him?
No, actually, he didn't. Actually, there's like literally dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of eyewitnesses saying that never happened.
So
Yeah.
how did the kid
They
get
literally
there? Who was he
kidnapped
with?
this kid from a bus stop, took him to the house, and freaking used him as bait to try to get people out of the house in order to freaking
five-year-old
get people
kid?
that are illegally. And then they took the kid,
five-
which by the way, there was a house full of people. Okay, the only one that they were able to actually arrest or detain or anyway was the father. And they could have left that 5-year-old boy with any of the people in that household who were all very, very legally here, family members of them. And they chose not to. They chose instead to take that 5-year-old boy to an ICE detention center.
Let me ask you. So the 5-year-old boy you're saying wasn't with his dad. So he was at a bus stop. He was at a bus stop at 5 years old by himself.
He was still in front of the school. The entire school administrator staff saw it happen. He wasn't alone out there, dude. Everybody watched it, sir. Literally, the entire school administrator staff was standing right there watching it happen. It was the school side of the bus stop.
So they picked the kid up from school and took him home. Is that
They
what you're saying?
literally walked the kid out of freaking school. So they did. And as they went to go put him on a bus, they snatched up the kid, then drove the kid to his own house and used him as bait to try to get people out. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't care what you feel about immigration. If you are okay with literally kidnapping children, okay, in order to get some agenda, then you are just inhumane and just completely lack empathy. There is a 5-year-old child who literally today a judge had to stop the freaking deportation in order to try to get this child out of an ICE detention center where he's in there, where this kid should be at fucking school. He is 5 years old. By the way, he came here legally under asylum law, by the way. They didn't come here illegal. The only reason that they were able to deport him is because they're revoking the asylum law for all these people. But they came into this country legally, under asylum law. Okay? And
Asylum law,
literally,
what country was he from?
what does that matter?
Because
Why does it
says
matter
the
which
asylum law
country
says
he's
you have
from? They came through a
Well, it
legal
does matter,
port of... Sir,
because
they
the
came
law
through...
says you have to go to the nearest country
It does not.
available. You can't
It
be
does
coming
not.
from like
The law
Colombia
does not
or-
say that.
So you get to come to America specifically.
You
can
get
come
to...
from
Is that,
Africa
sir,
or
sir,
Middle East,
sir,
you can come to
the
America.
law does not say that. You said the law
You have to
says
go to the
that.
nearest-
The law does not say that in any way, shape, or form. 8 U.S. Code 1158 is our asylum law. It does not say that. Actually, it says the exact opposite of that.
I'm reading the thing about the 5-year-old boy.
You should be reading our asylum law because you don't know anything about that, sir.
So the 5-year-old boy, this is by ABC, 5-year-old was apprehended by immigration officials shortly after arriving home from preschool while his father was in their driveway. So what are you talking about, dude?
Sir, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's
Okay.
the first thing I just got home. That's the first thing I was able to look up. And
This is the first thing you've looked
check.
up the entire time we've been on this conversation.
I told you I was driving. I just got home.
No, I mean, like, you hadn't looked up anything. We've been talking for half an hour. You haven't looked up a singular thing.
Well, this is the first thing I looked up while we've been talking because you said a lot of things. And I was like, okay, if they took him from the bus stop, let me see if that's accurate. Because I was like, that doesn't seem likely, so let me check real quick.
All right.
So
let's
what do
pull
you
it
have to say about that? You're saying he got picked up from the bus stop at school, and now it turns out that he was picked up at his house while his dad was right there in the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you have to say about that? Because you just said this whole story. So where are you getting your information from?
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm seeing it right here. I'm seeing he was in his driveway either. Doesn't really fucking matter, does it, sir?
Well, it does matter because all these
No,
other
it doesn't.
things and statements
Sir,
you're
sir,
saying, it's
sir,
like, oh,
I'm
they're
sorry.
doing this and doing
I'm
that,
sorry,
and
sir.
people are
This is
dying
the
of
article he's looking at.
Alcatraz.
I'll pull it on the screen. Sir, does him being kidnapped in his driveway make it better than him being kidnapped at school? You said his
He wasn't
father
kidnapped.
ran.
They were going after the father, and the father left him. It's just like
The
I
father
said.
left him in his driveway?
They were going after the father. The father was with the kid.
Hold on. The bus stop from the school was at the driveway. They stopped. Okay, the kid could have just walked into the house. They instead stopped and snatched the kid. And you're saying that's okay?
I'm saying he was with his father, and they went for the father, and the father went running.
The father was
and
in his
left
driveway,
kid right
sir.
there in
Where
the
did he
driveway.
run to?
He ran away from ICE.
He ran away from ICE? You mean walked into his house?
He left the kid there. And
He left the kid on his own. Sir, he left the kid there on his own property in his driveway?
Well, was I right about it or not?
Sir,
the dad was with the kid.
Sir.
You acted like the kid was at school.
Sir, okay, I was wrong about the story. This is even worse. Instead of him
So
being
you need to do some research.
Sir, I was wrong. That's okay. Sir, I don't mind being wrong. You're the only one that has
So
a
now I'm
problem
gonna
being
check
wrong.
all this other stuff. I'll get it.
You should, okay? But sir, I know I've just been burning you for the last 33 minutes, and you think this is a win, okay? And
You've been making a lot of statements.
Yeah, I have. And you haven't looked up a single one of them. Okay, so maybe I was wrong, okay? Maybe the
I'm
kid
gonna
that
go
was
one by one,
sir,
brother.
sir, please do. Maybe you'll learn something. Okay? But let me be clear, okay? You're saying that it is now better because he was kidnapped from his own driveway. How would you like it? Do you have kids, sir?
He wasn't kidnapped.
Do you have kids, sir? Do you have kids, sir?
No, I don't.
You don't have kids? Can you imagine having a kid and having your kid taken by ICE agents in your driveway?
If I wasn't in someone else's country illegally,
he wasn't
and I
here
left the
illegally.
kid
He was
there,
here under
yeah,
asylum law.
I'd
He
hope that
came,
they-
sir. He was
you
here
know why
legally.
you know why he felt.
Sir,
you know why he knew.
Sir, he was here legally. I just already said that
So why were they going after him?
because they go after legal people all the time. The judge literally had to. A federal judge literally stopped his deportation today.
Let me see here. I'm gonna pull up that law, man. I'm gonna save your number, man.
Sir, I'm
gonna
on
look
here
up that
every
file.
fucking day. Can you please tell
Okay.
me how you're okay with somebody coming onto your property and stealing your child away?
I'm not okay with it. His own dad was okay with it because if the dad felt concerned
His
about
dad
ICE,
was
he wouldn't
on
let
his
the kid.
own
He-
property, sir. He was here
Yeah, but
legally
if-
and on
if-
his own
if it was-
property.
If he's so scared of ICE, how could he felt safe? enough to leave
Everybody's
his kid
scared
out
of
there with
ICE, sir. ICE is literally shooting American citizens.
Yeah, so he was worried about himself and not his kid. No,
He could
knows
see his kid
kid's
the
gonna
whole
be
time.
okay.
His kid never left his sight. Again, sir, the kid was in his own
He's never left
driveway.
his sight now.
You're the one who corrected me on that, sir. You're
left
the
his
one who
sight.
corrected me to show me that the kid was in his own driveway and the father was in the house looking at the driveway.
No,
Actually,
it
I
says
remember
in
the
the
video now.
article-
See, I
it
had
says
two
the-
things
no, it
confused.
says
That's
the
all it was.
ABC article that the dad was there in the
all right,
driveway.
Sir. I actually remember looking at the video now. Now I remember. I confused two things. I apologize. You're right. I am wrong. I actually watched the video of the father yelling at the ICE agents from the house. He was watching his kid right there. Where did he run to, sir? If he could literally talk to the ICE officers. Do you want me to pull up the video? I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you should have it in front of you, right? Why don't you pull up
I'm
the
walking
video?
my dog right now. I will in a second. I'm walking my dog right now. It's a 13-hour
Oh,
shift,
okay.
so.
Well, I'll play it for everybody else. So you can explain to me how he ran away from his kid, but he could see his kid through the window and was talking to ICE officers. Sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Would you like to explain it to
I
me?
can't talk on the phone and watch the video at the same time.
Oh no, but you can respond to me. Everybody else is going to watch the video while you freaking
Oh,
explain
you
to
said
me
you're gonna play it.
how
I
he
didn't-
was
I didn't hear
running
a
away.
question.
Huh?
I didn't hear a question.
Yeah. Can you please explain to me how he ran away from ICE officers if he could literally see the ICE officers and his kid through his front window because he was in his driveway?
Okay, well, I might have been wrong about that detail.
Oh, okay. So he
I don't
didn't
know.
leave his kid.
I'll look at it. I mean, I could
okay.
be wrong on some stuff too.
Okay. My bad, y'all. I confused two things. I do a lot of freaking research.
Welcome to the next generation of website creation.
Well, anyway, sir, are you finished, I guess? Oh, sir, sorry. You might be confused here. I'm not asking you to go off on your own narrative. I'm asking you to answer the question.
Oh, what was the question?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm done with you.
I didn't hear the question. I mean,
I've
I
asked
told you
it
to watch
3
the video
times now.
later.
I don't plan on asking it a 4th.
Well, I'm walking my dog. All right, man.
All right. Bye. Guys, that guy both advocated for child kidnapping and pro concentration camps. Sad people. I'm going to play that video. I forgot I had seen that video. My bad. I'm going to play that video. But I'm going to go through a few super chats first, and we'll play that video in a second. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please make sure you guys hit that follow button, subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Yeah, that was really bad. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. Betty, thank you so much for the $2. Said, if caller wants Law and Order, go watch the TV show. Yeah, that's funny. Jeff says, what's your real name? Why are you trying to date me, bud? Not sure. No, guys, you guys are funny. It's really funny. I walked that guy for 35 minutes, and then I was like, oh, I thought he got kidnapped at the... Here's where he got me. I forgot that he didn't get kidnapped at his school. He got kidnapped in his driveway, and everybody's like, well, he won. That's literally what happened. I walked that guy for 35 minutes, and then he goes, oh, nope, he wasn't kidnapped at school. He was kidnapped in his driveway, so therefore I win, and got off the phone. That's literally what happened. And you guys were like, yep, caller got him. Oh, you guys are funny, man. Feisty, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Big thumbs in the chat for Feisty. Jumbo, thank you so much for the $5. Said, many white people may never fully grasp it because people of color experienced it firsthand, while others encountered it only in history books. Yeah. That's literally what happened. Actually, I think I have the video. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. I think I actually have the video saved over here. Let me see if I can find it. Thank you so much, Jumbo. I appreciate that. Dragon, thank you so much for the $2. Says, I hope he knows white men aren't safe either. Yeah, that kind of goes back to what Jumbo said. To be completely honest with you, I think that kind of matches. Hey, Liz, thank you so much for the $5. And my greatest destroying faith in humanity moment this week is people believing that negative 40 degrees Celsius in U.S. would disprove global warming. Can jet ski drive on ice? I think they have a whole thing for that. I think that is called a snowmobile, if I am correct. But I could be wrong on that. Oh, I'm not giving up. I'm still getting the video. Sorry. I'm going to pull this up for everybody. Oh, my goodness. Why is it not pulling up? Let's see if I can find it. Why is it not pulling up? Anyways, if anybody has the video from the inside of the house that the parents were taking, send it to me in the Discord. I don't have time to find it right now, and I don't want to hold up you guys waiting, trying to pull it up right now. Watch Me Rip said, can you ask him how he would like to be deported if he went to another country illegally? I think I tell a story here about my little brother being deported. It's actually really funny, out of Thailand. Yeah, it's not that bad, to be completely honest with you. Betty said, thank you for the $2. Says, caller definitely thinks brown skin equals probable cause. Oh yeah, 100%. And Black Republic said, you're flat out lying. What was I lying about, sir? See, again, y'all, and this is a Republican thing, and so let me explain to you, okay? Like, really, it is really sad, okay? I have no problem being wrong, Okay? I am not perfect. I can make mistakes, and that's okay, guys. All right? I truly don't have a problem being wrong. All right? You guys have the problem with being wrong. All right? That's why you guys get so upset when I prove you guys wrong and move the goalpost. All right? You guys are the ones that get upset when you're wrong. When I get something wrong, I just admit I'm wrong. It's not a big deal. No one's expecting to be perfect, okay? It's okay, guys. You'll make it through. I made a mistake. It's all right. It's not a big deal, guys. Anyways, phone lines are back up open. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, at the end of the day, the 5-year-old was still kidnapped. It doesn't change anything, all right? At the end of the day, the 5-year-old was still kidnapped and you're still defending it. Sad. It's sad. It's truly, truly sad. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How old are you? I said I'm doing excellent. How old are you? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I'm talking to you, or not?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I couldn't hear anything you were saying. You were kind of breaking up. What's going
Awesome.
on?
Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
I don't know. I like him. I like him.
Why is
I
that?
mean, I don't like everything that he. Well, I don't like everything that he does. I don't like everything that he supports, but I think objectively.
Local people,
I do
real
like the guy more
connections.
than I dislike
Let's
the
work
guy.
together
But
to
there
connect you to
sure
your
are some things
dreams.
that I don't like.
Stop by.
but, no.
We're starting in Minnesota.
You're asking me why I support him, so.
Yep, and you have yet to answer the question.
No, I like him. I answered the question.
No, sir. I'm not asking if you like him. I'm asking why you like him.
No. That's not what you said. You said, do I support him? I said.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next caller. If we can't get through why do you still support Trump, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna have much of a conversation here. I don't think we're gonna have much of a conversation if we literally can't get past the literal first questions. Like, legitimately makes it really, really hard. All right, we're gonna open up the phone lines, keep this thing going. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'm trying to do two things at once. We can't even get to the first part. All right, I'm trying to get through freaking the first part. Can't even get through the first part. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
Well, first of all, I was watching the stream a little. My friends actually sent it to me, and I want to go back to the fact that you said, hold on, that you said ICE facilities and like retaining facilities were not detention, but concentration camps.
Because they are.
I was just curious, but they're not.
But they are.
Why would you say that?
Because concentration camp has a definition and it fits it.
Well, a concentration camp is something that's just based off of specifically in camping zone because they are either their religion, their race, they're a minority, whatever. A detention facility, which actually is what it is.
Hold on. Their race, their religion, or what?
Or whether they're a minority or not.
Oh, you mean like an ethnicity, like an immigrant?
Yes.
Yeah. Continue.
Because the detention facility, which is what it actually is
all concentration camps are detention facilities, sir.
No, they're not.
Yes, literally every single concentration camp is a detention facility. Not all detention facilities are concentration camps, but all concentration camps are detention facilities.
But yeah, it's not a concentration camp, it's a detention facility. A detention facility is something that's based off a legal process. A concentration camp is just something because, for example, Hitler felt like putting the Jews in there. That had nothing to do with legality.
Sir, we're not talking about
immigrants coming-
Hitler's concentration camps.
No,
I am
but
talking
that's
about
an example of
sir, what's the
concentration
definition of a
camp.
concentration camp? I already went through this with the last guy. I don't know why I'm going through it again.
No, I was just curious.
No,
It's,
I'm curious.
law.
What is the definition of a concentration camp? Because I just gave it to the last guy, and I don't know why I'm going through it again.
A long-term mass confinement to control, punish, or isolate a specific group of people, and mostly based off ethnicity, religion, politics, and nationality.
Thank you. You just proved my point.
How is that
Based off
proven?
of politics and nationality, long-term detention center. Usually without
But you
trial
can-
is also part of the definition. All of those things exist in Alligator Alcatraz. Literally all of those qualifications exist.
You could have you can have
Everything you just said is required for it to be a concentration camp exists with Alligator Alcatraz. Every single one.
They're all 90% of them are all illegal immigrants, and
Sir,
they're
I
in
didn't
there
ask, sir,
because they're
sir.
illegal
Where in the
immigrants.
definition of concentration camp does it say they have to be a legal migrant or a non-legal migrant or they have to be a U.S. citizen? Does it say that anywhere in there?
No.
Okay, then that has nothing to do with whether it's a concentration camp or not.
Right.
Correct.
A concentration
It is
camp
it is a detention center for people that are held without trial based off their ethnicity, right there, or political reasons, right there. Boom, it's a concentration camp.
It is a detention facility because they're being held there because they're illegally here. They are not here legally. Whether you said, I think you
Sir,
said
tons of
that-
them are there legally. What are you talking about?
Right. They're
Tons of them are
in
here
America-
legally.
They are legally
Tons
in
of them are
America.
here legally. We just explained where a kid right now, a 5-year-old, is in a detention center, okay, who came here under U.S. asylum law. So he's here legally, and he's in a detention center.
So you said that they come here legally, right? And they stay past their whatever. Did you not say that?
Sir, some of them do.
Did you?
There's all
you
sorts
said-
of people in there. What are you talking about? There's the
you said
video.
the
I
vast
found it.
majority Is what you said. You said the vast majority. So
The
that
vast
means
majority of
that-
undocumented immigrants in the United States.
You said the vast majority of people in Alligator Alcatraz.
No, I did
come here
not. I said the
legally.
vast majority of undocumented immigrants in the United States.
You could okay. You said so. Regardless, they come here legally.
I mean, by
past
you know,
their stay.
ipso facto, yeah, that would mean that probably most of the people that are in these detention centers also freaking were here after overstaying legal status or because their legal status was revoked. Unfortunately, I can't answer that question on whether that's actually true or not because DHS and freaking Homeland Security isn't releasing any of the information to let us know who's actually in there. They're not telling us who's in there. So we literally can't freaking say who's in there and who's not because we literally don't know because they won't tell us.
Don't touch.
So then, how do you know they're all there legal, or if they're pulling? Legal
I don't
people
because I didn't
off-
say that, sir. I said that the vast majority of undocumented, undocumented immigrants in the United States came here legally and are still here. That's what I said.
But you just said they're pulling legal people that are here legally and putting them in.
They
these
are.
detention facilities.
There's all sorts of them. They're literally pulling people out of immigration courts. Are you kidding me?
You just said you didn't know that.
I know they're pulling people out of immigration courts because we have video documentation and the court documents on it.
But so you know they're putting legal people that are here legally with citizenship, visa, whatever.
Can you be quiet
into
for a
these camps.
second? You're talking in circles and it's starting to annoy me. So just stay there for a sec, okay?
Don't touch it. She boring here. Don't touch.
This is the father standing in his house talking to the ICE agents with his kid kidnapped in his driveway.
Look, that's where I am.
You're still not answering. The
I'm not talking to you. Be quiet.
No, I can give it to the dog. You guys, you scare people. That's what you do. See how you have the kids over there?
Told you guys I had the
That's what you do
video.
with this country. You put it upside down.
Please, sir. She have autism spectrum. Please. Please. Yes.
This is where they're begging ICE agents to let him go. Yeah. Told you I had the video. I might be confusing it too. There's so many kids that they're kidnapping, I'm running out of kids. Okay? There's so many kids being kidnapped, I'm running out of which kids are freaking kidnapped in the right time. Anyways. Someone's saying that's the wrong kid. I'm sorry. My apologies. That might have been the wrong kid that they kidnapped. I apologize. My bad. It was either the right or the wrong kid that they were kidnapping. I lose track. Anyways, what were you rambling about?
I was just saying that you said that they're pulling legally immigrants that are here legally and putting them in these concentration camps. But then you went to state that you don't know who's in the concentration camp. So how could you say that if you don't know?
Yeah, this isn't simple. This is very, very simple. How old did you say you were?
I'm 18.
Okay. What year were you born?
I was born in 2007.
2007. Yeah, I don't believe you because you're arguing like a child.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't say that I didn't know how some of the people got there. Okay. I, of course, know how some of the people got there. That doesn't mean I know the entire population of every freaking concentration camp we have in the United States and exactly the percentages of how many of them stayed in certain places and other ones didn't, because we haven't had those numbers released. This is not difficult to understand. If I know how freaking 100 people out of a freaking concentration camp of 1,000 got in there, yes, I know how those 100 people that got there. It doesn't mean I have the data of all 1,000. Why are we arguing these semantics right now?
Because what you're saying doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. Everybody here understands that. There are like 2,000 people watching. Everybody understands this but you. So what is your actual argument here?
No, I was just curious why you thought that they're concentration camps when they aren't.
Because they are. When and literally you gave the definition of concentration camp, and literally in your definition of concentration camp, you described why it's a concentration camp.
I described that.
You described it, sir. We already went through this part. You said specifically that it was due to ethnicity or political reasons without trial and a place of detention. You literally said all of those things, and all of those things are happening in Alligator Alcatraz because it's a concentration camp.
They're in there though because they're illegal.
Just like Hitler said that freaking the Jews were going there because they were illegal, because they were doing this, because they were doing that. It's literally the fascist playbook, sir. It's called scapegoating. I believe it's number 7 of the 14 tenets of fascism. It's called scapegoating. It's when you imprison people because they're the bad guys and they're doing all the harm, and we need to put all of those people in prison, okay, because of that, okay? Hitler didn't just put Jews in those camps. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He didn't put them there because they're illegal. He put
yes,
them
he did. He literally did.
Jew.
Literally, the Gestapo's
specifically because they're Jew, black, gay, whatever.
So like if they're like Honduran or freaking El Salvadorian or they're brown, because that's most of the people there do. Actually, do you know that ICE just freaking said that it was necessary for them to racial profile in order to do their job?
You judge a book by its cover.
That's judge a book by its cover. So literally,
that's a thing to do.
So let me ask you a question. How did he know that the people in Germany were Jews?
Because they would either wear a Star of David. That's something that.
So he made them identifiable. Oh, gotcha.
No, that's not. They would walk around and do that, and that's how they knew they were Jew.
Oh, you think the Jews in Germany just woke up one day and they were like, "Oh, let's all wear a star"?
No, that's part of their religion. It's the Star of David. They wore that for religious causes. They didn't all just decide to one day start wearing it. That's how Hitler.
Young man, please, for the love of God, go read a fucking history book, because this is literally how we end up in a fucking fascist authoritarian state. It's by fucking young men like you, children like you, okay, not knowing what the fuck you're fucking talking about, okay?
We're going. There's no.
No, we're not. I am. You're a child.
There's no need to cuss.
No, there's no need, but there is a want.
I'm not getting mad right now, so you don't need to.
Sir, I'm not mad at you. You are not worth me getting mad at. Okay? There is no need to cuss. There is a want to cuss. And I want to cuss because fuck you. Okay? Go read a history book, all right?
Yeah, I've read plenty.
Obviously not, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good day.
I'm having a great day. All right, we're gonna open up the phone lines. Keep this thing going. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Chloe. Thank you so much for the $5. Said this idiocy. It burns. It does sometimes. That's okay. It's all right. And Norwegro. Is that what that says? Does that say Norwegro? Yo, please make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Please make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you like support, I do have super chats, super stickers, live gift goal, pay links in the bio, all that fun stuff. So I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And Laura, thank you so much for the $2. Said, I'm tired of people saying in other countries they deport you. This is America. We're meant to be better. We're supposed to be more for the world. Yeah, that one guy was like, we need to be more like Nigeria, which is a wild thing to say. Which is a truly wild thing to say. Riley, thank you so much for the $2 also. Also, Norwegro, which is a funny name. I'm not going to lie. The phone number is not fake. It's now open. See, when you hear that dinging noise, see, you hear that? That means the phone line is on and people are calling it. You just haven't gotten in yet. Okay? Lots of people want to call me. Hello, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm excellent. How old are you?
32.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes.
Awesome. Why is that?
The deportations.
And why do you support that?
It's needed.
Why?
One, for economic reasons.
Yeah. Can you please explain to me how deportations helps the economy?
For instance, you have, say, since the Obama administration is doing high amounts of deportation because African American communities are highly affected based off of that, due to immigrants taking up jobs that most people, say, for instance, that working class, that particular working class, cannot partake in because they're being underbid.
Yeah, that's actually not true. If you actually look at immigration in the United States, it actually creates jobs almost for a one-to-one basis. Not to mention deportations don't necessarily create jobs for people that live in those communities because those jobs are not normally where in the communities where Black people live anyway.
Normally live? So which statistic are you going based off of?
I can go off of multiple ones. Which one would you like?
No, I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, for which one are you talking about? I said multiple things.
Okay. Which one did I address?
You haven't addressed any of them. You just asked for what data I was going off of.
Yeah, you just said that what? According
Sir,
to me,
what data are you going off of? How about that?
Say for instance, cut grass.
No. What data are you going off of, sir?
Okay, one more. Hey, just give me a minute, bro, okay? No. I'm sorry. I can't run right now, Bubba.
Sorry, it sounds like you need to go take care of your kid.
Well, don't you have a kid, sir?
I do, but I usually take care of mine.
Yeah, I take care of mine too, buddy.
Yeah, well, why don't you go do that, okay, instead, because you're not really doing either of these two things well right now, okay?
Well, doing one of the two things, what, in regards to deportation?
Of playing with your kid or having a conversation with me, you're doing both things poorly, so I'm going to let you go do the other one, okay?
Well,
all right, cool.
It's insane.
I'm just saying you're not doing either one correctly, so why don't we just go do go do the other one, man? I'm just saying. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Is it the same person? Go play with your kid. Do you hate your kids that much? God, I swear your kids can't be that bad. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Is this your attempt to
Hello?
sound like an adult? You gotta at least wait until they drop, okay, kid?
Hello?
You gotta at least wait until they drop, all right? Hello, how are you?
Man, you actually answered? That's crazy.
Yeah, I've been answering calls for an hour and 34 minutes. What are you talking about?
God bless. Well, listen, I just tuned into your stream. I actually don't even know who you are. I just figured I'd hop in the bandwagon.
If you don't know who I am, why would you call in?
Because isn't that what you're advocating for people to call in?
Well, do you still support Trump?
That's a fine line of a question. It's kind of yes and no.
Okay. Well, see, I'm looking for people that answer that question yes. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Can I at least give you my point on one thing that you were talking about that I do agree with?
I thought you just
that
tuned
Trump
in.
is doing? Yeah, dude. I've been watching your stream for probably about 20 minutes since the last guy.
That's not just tuned in.
Concentration camps.
Yeah, that's not just tuned in. That's been here for a while. That's pretty much a fan at this point.
Well, listen, maybe I will be a fan of you. Maybe.
Oh, you should be. I'm awesome.
Make it work.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, am I allowed to talk about my one point that I do think Trump is doing well, and what I do agree with? What
See,
Trump is
here's
doing?
my problem with that, sir. And I'm just gonna let you know my complete issue. Okay. The economy boomed under Hitler. Okay. Did you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we can find something good that every president does. Okay. And trying to nitpick singular things when in general Donald Trump is a horrible president doesn't seem to make much sense. That's why this whole like in between thing doesn't really make much sense to me, because really what you're saying is like, oh, Donald Trump is sending out his like secret police to murder American citizens. But we're just going to sit around and talk about the one thing he did good. And I just really don't have too much of a like real will to do that. Right.
No, fine. That's a fair point. But at the same time, too, my point that I have is regarding immigration and deportations of illegal immigrants from the country. It's basically the entire thing you have been talking about for the past half hour since I've been on the phone.
Yeah, and you can see why I'm probably tired of it then, huh? But go ahead.
Yeah, but listen, for me, right, my wife is an immigrant. My wife, we got married 2 years ago when we did it the right way, which was going through due process, going through all the paperwork, and it took us 2 years and some change of months to be able to just get a permanent residency visa for her to come to this country and work and live in this country. And
sounds about right.
What gives another person, yeah, exactly. And I'm a U.S. citizen, born and raised in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And what gives anybody else in any other country any form of a right to come here illegally and be put first above an American citizen who's doing the things the right way?
What
as
gives
opposed to coming into the country and not doing it the right way?
What gives your
basically
what
they were doing?
Well, sir, do you want me to ask?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You asked me a question. I assumed you wanted me to respond to it, but then you just kept going.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. What gives your wife the right to be here?
The fact that I'm a U.S. citizen.
What does that have to do with your wife? That gives you the right to be here. What right does that give your wife? I mean, I as an American citizen, sir, as an American citizen, I didn't marry her, and I don't know if I really want her here, and I really don't know what right she has. I mean, the Constitution doesn't give her a right to be here, right? Like, and so, I mean, in my opinion, right, like, I don't think that your wife has a right to be here at all, right? I don't know her.
And then if that's your case, then aren't you basically arguing the same thing that every Trump supporter has been arguing this entire time? Because you don't know them and they're coming into your country and you don't want them there.
No, sir,
So
sir, I had more to say. Okay. But regardless, before you go off on your entire diatribe, sir, I don't mind that your wife is here. I think it's great that your wife came from wherever country she came from, and I'm glad that she's here and that she was able to make a life, all right? But the entire point, sir, is that nobody has the right to be here, okay? Including American citizens, right? Especially for the most part, and there were Europeans that came here, murdered a bunch of people, committed a genocide, and then created their own rules. And even when they created those rules, right, for the Constitution that guides our country, there was no mention of citizens in there. That wasn't ratified until the 14th Amendment. We got the right for all sorts of shit before we got any mention of becoming a citizen of the United States, right? So therefore, when it comes to who has a right to be here, you're making up a false doctrine of fairness, Okay. And then applying that fairness to something. Now, let me be very clear, right? If you were able to get a permanent residency in 2.5 years, it's actually pretty freaking quick, right? And probably about as much time as we need to figure stuff out. But we wouldn't need that if we had better immigration courts, if we had more immigration judges. Hell, you'd probably be able to get your wife in here freaking on a permanent residency in probably under 6 months if we had all the correct staff and judges that we needed in order to do that. And the Biden administration was trying to make that happen, and Donald Trump made sure it never did.
Well, the problem I have is with that, and this is where it comes a twofold conversation, is that under Obama, that was the case. Under Obama, as president, that was the case where immigration cases were getting moved within I believe it was roughly maybe around 6 to 8 months, I think. And then Trump came in, and then Trump's immigration came into his first term, probably about 8 to 12 months, which is fine. And then under Biden, it became longer. And then under Trump, it became longer. Now, that's just a problem that I have with that. But at the same time, is again, you're taking somebody who's doing things the right way to come into our country legally and doing it the right way, as opposed to people who just come in illegally, live here, and then now they're getting caught and they're getting sent back, and that's a problem.
Sir, first of all, that whole 6 months under Obama thing is a complete joke. That's not even near close to true. It is literally taken close to a decade to get United States citizenship in this country. Almost like at least for like 25 years, 30 years. It's been like that for a long time. Okay. Sir, I'm trying to get to the point, but you have to let me get there first, sir.
You're going off differently, and I'm not talking about
you started the conversation with saying back in Obama's era, it took 6 months. So I am addressing the things that you are talking about chronologically. If you don't want me to address it, then don't say it.
Okay, but you're talking about citizenship. I understand there's a difference between citizenship and visa. And
I don't think you want me to talk, do you?
What do you mean? I don't want you to talk.
You went off on this whole thing, right? I let you sit here and talk just for me to be able to respond to everything that you said in a chronological order, right? After you said all the things you needed to get off your chest, right? And then it's this every time I go to respond, I get into like a quarter of a point of whatever we're talking about, and you immediately cut me off and start going off. Like, I just don't understand.
Okay,
like, do you just want to come up here and maybe I can just shut off my microphone? Maybe I can go get a snack and you can just talk for the next 20 minutes?
If you want, that's fine.
Well, I'd prefer to have a conversation because that's what we do here.
And that's fine. I'm willing to have a conversation.
Doesn't sound like
it.
it.
To get mouthy with each other. I'm just trying to tell you how I feel about it, and you're the one who's getting all loud and obnoxious about it.
No,
dude.
sir.
Like,
Sir, I have tried to respond to your points 3 different times. I have tried to respond to your points, and 3 different times I get through a quarter of a point, and you start yapping. Okay, so I don't want to sit here and waste any more of my brain power and any more of my breath if you're not going to let me respond to your own points.
All right, then go ahead.
Okay. I don't even remember what the fuck you were talking about anymore. See, we can't even stay on conversation now.
We were talking about under Obama, it was a 6 months to get visa in the United States. That's
to get a visa?
You said, no, it's not. Yes.
You didn't.
Immigration.
You were talking, sir. We were talking about 2.5 years for freaking permanent residency. Nobody said anything about a visa. We literally didn't even mention the word visa.
Permanent residency is, brother. It's a fucking visa.
It's a green,
permanent
sir.
Residency is a visa.
There's a
card,
dozen different types of visas, sir.
Brother.
We were talking about a specific type of immigration, which is permanent residency. And at no point during the Obama administration could you get a permanent residency in 6 months.
I guess my lawyer that was handling my case told me wrong then, and I guess he's just full of it. But,
you had a freaking you may have had a really good lawyer. Maybe your lawyers lie. Lawyers lie all the time. That's literally most of their job.
But regardless, I want to hear your point about why you think it wasn't that quick under Obama.
Because it just simply wasn't. Okay, it's not why I think it was. It just wasn't that quickly. But let's say it was. Okay, like because really, again, this was just a small, tiny part of what I was trying to say. I don't even remember the rest of what you were trying to say because you cut me off. This wasn't even the main point, right? This was a very, very tiny, itty bitty thing I was addressing on the way to the rest of my point, right? I really don't care. This was literally a nothing point. Okay? Like, truthfully, like, it was really nothing. All I was, what I was trying to talk about, sir, was the idea that we need better immigration courts. We need better immigration judges. We need to be able to do all these things. You want to talk about this fairness thing. Donald Trump is literally ripping people out of immigration courts. Okay? People, like, on the day that they're picking up their permanent residency, on their day to swear in to get their permanent residency, Donald Trump is sending his ICE people, okay, to go detain them, or arrest them, and deport them. Okay, please explain to me how that's fair. Please explain to me how somebody who's been here for 20, 25, 30 years knows nothing of this country, other country, because they came here when they were 2 years old and have lived into almost my age in this country, right? And then are deported back to a country they know nothing about. How is that fair, sir? How are people that literally, according to the Cato Institute, there was since Donald Trump has become president, Donald Trump has overturned the legal immigration status of 2.5 million immigrants in this country. Tell me how that's fair, sir.
Okay, are you ready?
Sure.
So where it's fair is actually, hold on, sorry. Where it's not fair is that none of that is fair, actually. In my opinion, I don't think anything of what ICE is doing is quote unquote fair for anybody. I do think that the people that are living here, even if they are illegal, or if they were born here and they're not actually citizens or children of citizens, I do not believe that they should be deported because, again, naturalization. If they've been here for 30 years, that's fine. That's fine. You know the country. You're not literally fucking shitting in the woods for no reason, and that's what you grew up with. Again, making it really dramatic here, but at the same time, it's the truth. And that's my opinion. I don't think that anybody who's been in this country longer than 10 years should be deported, and they should be naturalized as citizens in the United States. But at the same time, I'm strictly talking about the people that were coming in droves on buses into the United States through the Mexican border, which we had no idea who they were, and all they had to do was fill out an app. And all they had to do was pretty much put all their information into an app, and then a couple weeks later, they were told what destination city to go to, where to go for living. They were given money, they were given social security cards, and they were given a place to live under hotels, which, weren't allowed to disclose any information about the people that were there.
Literally about 90% of what you just said is inaccurate.
Is it inaccurate? Because
Yes.
there's plenty of videos that actually have.
You have a video of people freaking filling out their app, then going to a port city, and then freaking not being vetted. That's pretty amazing to have a video of someone not being vetted, as if freaking their information was in the U.S. court system for freaking for apparently weeks, right? And then them being handed a social security card. That's a pretty crazy video, sir. I would love to see that video.
Brother, you can look it up. I'm telling
Sir,
you.
how would that video even exist, sir? Sir, how could a video? Please explain to me how
I'm
it.
not even talking about a video. You can
Sir-
look up the app yourself.
Sir,
You can
I know
look it
what
up.
the
It was
app
a whole
is,
fucking
and I know what
thing.
the app did. You want to tell me who the CBP One app was invented under?
Who?
Under
Biden?
Donald Trump in his first term. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was under Donald Trump in his first term. Do you know why the CBP One app was used to freaking come to this country and what it was actually used for? Because what you said wasn't accurate, right? Well, I'll just inform you. It's fine. Regardless, the CBP One app was specifically put in place to relieve pressure on the Border Patrol and specifically for asylum seekers. So it was only for legal migrants. And it was for the ability for the U.S. government to be able to vet them, run background checks on them, and validate whether they had a valid asylum claim in order to seek a court date prior to them showing up here. All right. That's what the CBP One app was for. Because what was happening is at the southern border, where Border Patrol was being overwhelmed by asylum seekers coming from the Northern Triangle, right? And then every single one of those, they have to freaking decide whether they have a valid asylum claim or have the evidence for a valid asylum claim, which only about 40% of them did. And then they all had to be held in detention and all that sort of stuff, and then background checked and all of those sort of things in detention at the southern border. And then they had to be given a court date, and then they were allowed in the United States. So the Biden administration was like, hey, we have this app. We can do all of that stuff online, and then they can just show up, because according to our asylum law, you do have to be in the country before you can seek asylum, right? But they are here legally. Right. And so they would show up in in whatever port of entry that they were supposed to show up in. Right. They would show that they've already been background checked. They've already been vetted. They already have a valid asylum claim. Right. And then they would be let in, and they would be given their court date, and it would relieve a lot of the pressure on the Border Patrol. That's what it was for. It was not for illegal migrants, right? And it was not so people could not be vetted.
I'm not saying anything about that they weren't vetted. That's not my point of anything. I'm just saying that made it easier for people that were illegal to come into the country.
Legal.
Regardless of
Legal.
that. And
Legal.
they
Legal.
had to be illegal before signing in. They had to fill out forms and applications prior. So yes, at the time of filling out those forms, they were illegal.
So is your wife.
Yeah, but my wife's not living here.
but it's okay. No, she wasn't. They neither were these people. They weren't living here either, sir. They were in their country of origin when they filled out the stuff on the app. So how were they illegal in their own countries?
Hotels. Explain to me why in hotels in New York City that you had people that came into the country where the hotel staff were not allowed to talk about them being there. That people were.
We can talk about them being there.
Couldn't. Nobody did.
What are you talking about? We talk about it all the time. Hey, you know who the number
video proof of people going in and asking about like are there illegal immigrants living here and they're not. Oh, we're not allowed to talk about that
because they weren't illegal immigrants.
Video proof of that everywhere
because they weren't illegal immigrants.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, that makes it any better. So then why wouldn't they just say that? They just keep it
because they're not supposed to just give out. Is this like, are you like one of those like Nick Shirley fans that thinks that like we should just let grown men in with cameras into daycares? Like, dude, there's privacy, dude. Like, you're not supposed to just be able to walk up to a place and just be like, who's here? Are they illegal? And then just like freaking get an answer. What are you talking about? We know who was there, and we know who sent them there, and we know why they were there. The literal governor of Texas on his own website brags about sending legal migrants to New York and freaking requiring freaking New York to be able to put them up in hotels. The literal current sitting governor of Texas brags about it. It's on his literal website. Where he says, I sent a bunch of asylum seekers to New York in the middle of winter. So the New York had a whole bunch of legal migrants show up in the middle of winter. And their choices were either A, put them up in a hotel, or B, let them freeze to death. Those were the only two choices because they didn't ask for them to get there. They didn't send them there. They weren't here illegally. So what would you want? Would you rather them fucking like just freeze to death? Was that what you'd rather have, sir?
No, but at the same time, I would have rather have had transparency on that. Because,
sir,
again,
it was very transparent. It's on the governor of Texas's website. It's insanely transparent, sir. You just have to look.
Okay, and I guess you're right. Maybe I didn't look, and maybe I didn't look into it hard enough. That's fair, and I'm not afraid to admit I'm wrong. Same as you. You were wrong about the whole what's it called thing.
Yeah, I confused two different children that were.
I'm not afraid to admit I'm wrong.
I confused two different children that were kidnapped by ICE. It happens.
But yeah, even that was a stupid fucking.
Yeah, you know, Ron DeSantis did the exact same thing. You know those people that got to Chicago? That was also Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott. All of these people did things, the migrants did things the right way. They came in under 8 U.S. Code 1158, okay? Which is legal asylum seeking in the United States. They provided evidence of their asylum claim, right? They were given court dates, all legal, right? All done legally. And then they freaking showed up and freaking Greg Abbott was like, get on this bus and sent them to the coldest places in the United States during the middle of winter with no place to stay, all right, in order to prove a political point. Literally played with people's lives, right? These migrants' lives, their ability to survive. Played with that to make a political point. That's what's sad. And then the criticism always is, oh, well, they were put up in hotels? Yeah, dude, they're human beings. They don't deserve to freeze to death in New York or starve to death. Okay, just because they're migrants. Yeah, we put them up in hotels. Yes, we feed them. Yes, of course we do. Just like if it was American citizens or documented immigrants or undocumented immigrants or, I mean, fuck, we have to feed and house criminals in this country. If you murdered someone tomorrow, it is the state's literal job to feed and house you.
Yeah, look at how well our prison system's doing.
I'm not saying our prison system is good at all. I'm saying
It's not.
feeding and housing people is the bare minimum, and arguing against feeding and housing people is just strange, dude, because it's human beings.
No, listen, and that's not realistically my point. My point just at the end of all this, my point is that even though yes, there are asylum seekers, and then there are people again who are applying for visa and citizenship in the United States, and there are people again. I started my application with my wife prior to Trump. It was under Biden, right? And my case theoretically was supposed to take 12 months. That was what it's predicting. And then that whole thing came out with immigrants coming into the country. And then it kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And then this is facts from the USCIS that when I called and asked about it, is that they were managing more of the claims of the migrants that were coming into this country as opposed to the people who had already applied. So that's what they were tasking themselves with the USCIS. The USCIS was tasking themselves with prioritizing the immigrants coming into the country as opposed to people like me, who, again, is a U.S. citizen who is applying to have his wife come here the right way, doing it in illegal channels while they're trying to catch up with COVID,
Again,
number one.
sir,
COVID
sir,
backlog.
USCIS doesn't process undocumented immigrants.
What?
USCIS doesn't process undocumented immigrants. That's the whole point, is that they're undocumented. So therefore, USCIS doesn't process them. We don't know that they're here, or we know that they're here and we don't know who they are. They don't have any documentation. There is no paperwork. They can't process them. So USCIS doesn't process undocumented immigrants, sir.
But who processes asylum cases? Who processes
Those are
that?
documented immigrants. Those are not people here illegally.
Again, you're still yes, anybody can apply for asylum from any country, and that's fair. Again, maybe minus mixing the first world countries out there, but anybody from a third world country can apply for asylum. But regardless, that still caused a backlog in the USCIS with how many people that were coming into the country seeking asylum, and it still put American citizens who were trying to apply for, again, people,
Nope.
loved ones.
No American citizens are applying for migration
Kinda did,
status.
brother. Again, you're not going to tell me because I was involved in this.
Sir,
It's
sir,
affected
sir. No offense. Okay. But this whole wham, my wife being documented in this country is more important than other people being documented in this country, when I'm assuming your wife probably didn't come to some place where she had a legal asylum claim. So it's probably a lot more detrimental that other people that were actually, that needed to seek asylum for whatever reason they seek asylum, right? For whatever reason that is, right? The whole point is that they're seeking asylum because they're in fear of X, Y, and Z, right? So therefore they are more important. But the answer to that is not make the people that are in fear stay where they're at so that my wife can get in. The answer is make more asylum courts, make more asylum judges. That way everybody can get processed. And Biden tried to do that, and the Republicans stopped him because of Donald Trump. The answer isn't prioritize your wife or migrant seeking asylum. The answer is that everybody needs to be processed, and we don't have enough courts in order to do it. So what do we do to fix that? We get more courts.
Okay, so you want to get more courts, which again involves more money, more paychecks from the government, more government employees that paid via our taxes, and that's the solution.
Sorry. Yes.
What?
Absolutely. 100%, sir. I want my tax dollars going to making sure that the people that need to come here, whether that's through marriage or asylum seeking or refugee status or work visas or whatever the hell they need to come here, I want my tax dollars to be able to freaking process them expeditiously. And that way it also does other things, right? Because if we have people that come here and seek asylum and they don't end up having a valid asylum claim, then it helps get them out of the country faster, right? Like, yes, I absolutely want that. Just like I want my dollars to go to all sorts of other freaking, programs that help people and improve our country. But currently our tax dollars are going to, right now, a Qatari bank account, and for Donald Trump to go to football games and NASCAR races, and we have government at an all-time spending high, and we're giving giant tax breaks to the richest and largest corporations in the United States. We've made ICE like the 7th largest military on the planet. Like, are you kidding me? We're building a fucking ballroom, dude. Like, you think I care about my tax dollars going to any of that shit? Yeah, take all of that money that we're doing for all of those things and put it to where your wife can have a green card in 6 months. And that guy seeking asylum can still get processed quickly. Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's actually our government's job.
Yeah, and again, getting into all those things you said, those are things that I genuinely don't agree with Trump, and that's where I kind of say where I'm split on the line. I don't agree with his foreign policies. I don't agree with how he talks to people. That's number two. Well, that's number one especially. He talks to people like they're pieces of shit. But that's just my point, is at the end of the day, we do need to do better in the country to better the systems that we have in place to make it more efficient for everybody. But at the same time, I don't think that realistically any foreign person, and again, yes, coming from seeking asylum, cool, but at the same time, they shouldn't be prioritized over U.S. citizens, and that's just my point. Is that I think they're
not prioritized over U.S. citizens, sir. They're prioritized against U.S. citizens who choose to go to other countries to marry people from those countries. They're choosing over those people. Like that. That's it, sir. You were not wronged here. Is your wife here? Does she have a green card?
Yeah.
Oh. You know, there's tons of people right now that were literally running from violence, from freaking death threats, from political violence right now that are literally being sent back to the freaking countries where they were receiving those violent threats right now. That's actually happening. Your wife, sir, even though I'm sure you love your wife, and I think that's totally awesome, and I really don't have a problem with you marrying someone from, outside the United States. I'm just being honest with you, sir. Your wife does not mean any more to me than anybody seeking asylum, okay? She means more to you, as she should. She's your wife, okay? But your wife doesn't mean fuck all more to me than any other person that's trying to come to this country. Does not an ounce more. Not a single iota of a little smidge more. Like zero more. Okay? Your wife is supposed to mean more to you. And I'm glad that she does. Okay? Trust me, from people that support Trump, I see how poorly they treat their wives on this live. Okay? Super glad you care about your wife a whole bunch. Okay? But to me, your wife is not a priority, okay? I think that all migrants should be prioritized at a much faster rate. I wish people that did not have to wait 2.5 years to get a green card or 10 years to get a citizenship or wait in these countries seeking asylum, where they're in danger for all this long time, I don't like I have literal American citizens being shot in the back by ICE right now, dude. I'm sorry, man. You're not gonna get the sympathy from me that I think that you want, and I'm not trying to be a dick, like I'm really not. But like, sucks,
no,
man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not looking for sympathy from anybody. I just figured I'd take the opportunity to give you my point of view on it, because again, I am a part of. Let me phrase that. I was a part of the immigration problem with our country. And so who else better to talk about it than somebody that went through it? And that's just kind of more or less where my point was with wanting to even call, because that's where I kind of came into this whole conversation.
I'm not mad you called, sir. It seems like the point of this is that you feel like you were wronged due to an immigration system because you married someone from overseas and you happen to try to get them into the country at a time that was very stressful for our immigration system. Okay, a lot because of COVID, right? But COVID had lots of really horrible effects on all sorts of people, both, people dying and also huge economic effects and all sorts of other things, right? But COVID had a large effect on the world. It had a large effect on our immigration system. It had a large effect on our asylum seeking. So I think you were really just more of a product of bad timing, okay? But that does not, that it just doesn't, it just doesn't do it for me, man. And I'm glad your wife's here. Like I said, I have no problem with that. It is what it is, but it's just like, dude, your wife's here. She's fine. I'm assuming she was safe the entire time wherever she was at, right? And so she's not the issue here. So, but I do appreciate you calling in. I'm going to move on to the next caller, but I hope you have a wonderful day. All right.
No, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you for taking the time to talk to me and kind of understand my points. And regardless, even if we didn't really agree on all of them, I still appreciate you taking the time to have a civil conversation with me about it. And again, I just want you to know that, again, wrapping up, I'm not really quote unquote a Trump supporter anymore. And, I just kind of wanted to end with that. But I guess have a good rest of your night, and hopefully you could have some better conversations. Sorry to take.
No, this was fine, man. I'm not mad about this. This is fine. I'm happy. I'm just. We've been talking for about a half an hour, and the conversation's over. That's all.
Yeah.
So, yep. Have a good one. All right.
No, absolutely.
Yep.
Have a good one. Take.
Yep. No. I mean, just after a while, it just becomes like a. It's just circle talking. You know what I'm saying? We're just talking in circles at this point, right? Just calling a duck a duck. Yo, please make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I got some time tonight, okay? I got some time tonight. So I might stay a little bit longer and hang out with you guys. But I'm gonna need you guys to do me a favor over here. All right. First of all, if you're on the TikTok side over there, let's get this thing up to 250,000 likes. Let's get this thing moving. Also, I don't know who sent me 2 of these hand hearts, but I need 3 to light up that gift gallery. So whoever did that, if they want to send me a 3rd one, they're really appreciative. That'd be freaking awesome. Or somebody wants to send me 3, either way, and then then I can throw up another one on there. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And then we're gonna try to see if we can get a couple of these gift gallery things set up. Also, if you guys would like support, I do have super chats open, super stickers. I also have pay links in the bio. They're all at Polypolitics. Like my name. So thank you guys so much. Aquila, maybe Aquila. I'm gonna go with Aquila. Thank you so much for the $2. Brian, thank you so much for the $20. Big W's in the chat for Brian for the $20 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. She's a lot for the happy poop. Miguel, thank you so much for the laughing disco. Xantos, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said, guess is moronic. I know from my experience, visa is work, study, or travel, or in his case, I-55, which grants the spouse temporary residency while awaiting the green card, permanent residency card. That's what I was trying to say. I'm like permanent residency isn't a visa. And he snapped at me. I wasn't going to argue with him, but he was just I was like, permanent residency isn't a visa. He snapped at me. I'm like, I'm not gonna argue with you on it, but Jesus. But thank you, Xantos. Thank you for letting me know I'm not crazy. Thank you for letting me know I'm not crazy today. He had me questioning my own sanity over here for a second. Yeah, he came at my head on that one. Yeah, literally, visas are temporary. It's the exact opposite of a permanent residency. That is the entire point. Anyways, y'all, like I said, please hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate it. I get it. You're mad. Your wife it took a while to get your wife here. I get it. That's not my problem.
It's insane.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you? Hi, how old are you?
I'm 55.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Excuse me?
Do you still support Trump?
I support America. Whoever the president is, I support him. If they're doing well, I say they're doing well. If they're doing bad, I say they're doing bad.
Awesome. Is Trump doing well or bad?
A little bit of both.
Nope. See, not really.
Can I ask you one question, sir?
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's say you're in charge. You're the president, okay?
Yep.
And now you have 2 groups of people. You can't help both. One of the 2 groups is going to suffer, okay?
Already a bad hypothetical. I'm the president of the United States. I can help more than one group of people.
No, but this is the hypothetical.
If I'm a president and I can only help one group of people, I'm already doing a bad job at being president. Just being honest.
Let me ask you this. Why does Minnesota release illegal criminals, not to the feds, but if I was picked up in Minnesota, they would turn me over to the FBI?
If you commit a crime and you're an undocumented immigrant in Minnesota, they do arrest you and put you in jail.
Well, why are they releasing 450 illegal aliens on the street?
What are you talking about?
In Minnesota, they released 450 illegal aliens they had in custody.
For what?
The federal government said, whatever, they picked them up for jaywalking, and they picked them up for this, right? So then the federal government said,
that's
hey,
why, because they were jaywalking.
Listen. Now the government says, hey, that guy is an illegal alien who killed somebody. We need to have him. But they
Hold on. That's an illegal alien that what?
Let's just say the illegal aliens picked up in Minnesota for any crime. Pick a crime.
Jaywalking. Okay? I picked jaywalking.
Okay, let's say me and the illegal alien are both picked up for jaywalking.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Yeah.
So then the government calls up and says, hey, do you have that guy, that American guy in custody? I think he committed a federal crime.
Uh-huh.
They turn me over to the federal authorities.
Yep.
But they don't turn the illegal alien over.
Incorrect. If that illegal alien committed a federal crime also, he would also be turned over.
Let me ask you this. Do you like veterans as much as the illegal aliens?
I like veterans a lot more, sir. But again, are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, before you switch topics, if somebody, commits a crime, even in Minnesota, even in California, even in all of those, if it's a state crime, they're arrested and tried for that state crime. If it's a federal, nope, I'm still talking. I'm still talking.
Go ahead.
Yep, thank you.
Go ahead.
If it's a federal crime, they hand them over to the feds for prosecution on that federal crime. Okay,
Not under the dictator.
They do.
No,
Okay,
they don't.
yes, they do. Yes, they do. What you're talking about is if somebody in Minnesota jaywalks, which is like a class like E misdemeanor, right? Under Minnesota law, then just like anybody else, they give a person a ticket for that and then they let them go. They don't hand them over for being undocumented immigrants for jaywalking. But if they were committing a crime that's actually a crime, then they hand them over.
Does everyone know what's happening here? Americans are being used by Republicans and Democrats. Do you understand that? Do you understand what's going on here, sir?
I understand very, very clearly. I do not know what you're talking about, though.
Well, you got the Democrats on one side saying that the Republicans are rounding up people and killing them. Then you got the Republicans on one side saying their spiel. And the Americans, me, you, everybody, are in the middle. And everyone's getting juiced up. Right? Because this is what's happening.
That's not right at all. I'm not saying that the right is rounding people up and murdering them. I'm saying they're rounding people up.
Did I lose you?
And also they're murdering people. Those are two separate things.
Who's murdering people?
ICE. Well, Customs and Border Protection. They're both kind of in on this one together, to be honest with you.
Well, ready for this? If the local police department would help ICE, there would be none of this.
Why does the local police officer in Minnesota, which has 600 officers, need to help 3,000 Customs and Border Protection officers in a city with a very minute frickin' immigration problem?
Do you think what's happening in Minnesota is good for anybody?
No.
I don't.
Oh.
But this is what needs to happen. Everyone, like you talked about,
ICE needs to leave and Customs and Border Protection need to leave and stop killing people.
So
I agree.
All the illegals need to stay?
I would much rather have all the illegals stay than one more freaking person to be killed.
And to do what with them?
I don't care, but at least one more person is alive.
To do what with them?
I don't care, but at least one more person is alive.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've already answered you twice.
Oh, the phone cut out, sir. I'm sorry. What should we do with 25 million people who can't be here?
It's not 25 million people, sir.
Let me ask you this. How many illegal aliens are in the country right now?
Best estimates put it around 14 million.
Okay, what should we do with them?
Like in my opinion?
Yeah, your opinion.
Oh, yeah, sure. Easy. Anybody who's been here for more than, put an arbitrary number on it, 7 years, 6 years, whatever you want to make it. Grant mass asylum, just like Reagan did during his term, right? Where you have them all commit.
How'd that work out?
Sir, are you asking my opinion, or would you like to talk?
Well, there's a delay on the phone. I apologize. Continue.
Okay, awesome. So you grant a mass asylum for them. So you are able to vet them. You know who is exactly here. You're able to process them. They're able to work. They're actually able to pay taxes regardless of where they're at. They're able to have a pathway towards permanent residency and citizenship. They're able to be more beneficial to our economy. They're able to be more, they're able to not be exploited. They're able to fall under our labor laws,
Should
right?
they have
And
to
we
pass
know
a
who all
test
those
on
people
American
are.
history?
And then we take, anybody else and we use that money that's actually going towards ICE and we use that to bolster up freaking Customs and Border Protection. So we have a very strong, secure border. That way we don't allow things like human trafficking, like the cartel to bring drugs in or to bring people in or all that sort of stuff, right? So we build up our borders. We allow the people that are already here, that are already contributing to society, to continue contributing to our society.
Are they all
And we
contributing?
build it up around that.
Are they all contributing?
Of course, not every single one of them, sir, but not every single American citizen contributes either.
So they should all get to stay, no matter what. Criminal record, they killed somebody.
Absolutely
they
not,
raped-
sir. No,
So
if
what
you
should
have
we do with that? What-
if you're
so
a
let me
violent
ask you,
if you're a
can I
violent
talk?
criminal,
Can I talk?
then
Can I talk for a minute? Can
you
I
asked
talk?
me a question.
And
You
answered
said
it.
so
Now,
they all get to stay regardless of whether they're
Okay.
criminals. And I was saying no, absolutely not. I believe that if you committed a crime, first of all, I don't think that you would show up for the asylum hearing, right? If they say we're granting mass asylum, I don't think you're the one that's going to show up, right? It actually, in my opinion, gives ICE the ability to actually go after those people, because instead of going after people that they're just minding their business and doing their job, then they actually can go after the criminals.
let me ask you this. Just say they're going after the criminals, right? Say I'm an illegal alien and coming after me, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you really got to get a better cell phone plan, man.
I'm an
MAGA,
illegal
MAGA
alien
Mobile is
that's
not
coming
working out
after
well
me.
for you.
And I'm with 5 of my illegal aliens. Should they get arrested?
I don't know what you said, sir. You need a little better reception.
Okay. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Let me ask you this: If ICE is going after, say, a murderer in a town, they have an illegal alien, they know murder is an American, and that person is with 5 other guys who are just illegal aliens, should they get arrested too or not?
I mean, were they accomplices?
They're illegal aliens, sir. They're here.
Were they
illegally.
accomplices?
No, they're just illegal.
Oh,
aliens.
then I don't care
One
about
guy.
them. Yeah, they can stay.
Well, let me ask you this: they're taking resources from Americans. You're okay with that?
They're actually not. They're actually contributing more to
They're
our
not.
economy and into our tax system than
Then
they take
America,
out.
you're saying they're contributing more than Americans are contributing.
Then some Americans are contributing, sure, but they are still
Well, they
contributing,
agree.
sir. The difference is that American citizens, when they pay into the tax system, they get the benefits of those tax systems, where migrants don't. Every dollar that they
So
put
why
in
don't
is
they
a
co-
net positive to the American tax system.
Let me ask you this: is there a right way to come into America and a wrong way?
Right and wrong are subjective, sir.
If I cross the border illegally and some other guy fills out all the paperwork, and let me ask you this: should they have to take a test on American history and pass it?
Only if American citizens also have to take that same test in order to stay here.
Sir, do you understand what it's like to be born in? I don't think people understand. We're born Americans. We are the greatest people on the planet.
We are not. We're actually
We're
some
not.
of the.
Who's-
We're
let me ask this.
we're
What-
we
let me ask this.
the United States
Hold on.
United States as a whole has committed some of the worst atrocities in like
Of
fucking.
course we have.
We are not the best.
Of course we have.
Fuck, dude. Like not even fucking close.
Let me ask you this:
Fucking.
Where would you rather live than America?
Where would I rather live than America?
Than America, yeah. Let me ask you this: if it sucks so bad, why are billions of people trying to come here?
I didn't say it sucked.
You just said it sucked.
I never said the word it sucked.
You said America's done the awfulest things in the world.
Yeah, you said we're the best people.
We are the best. Who's better than America?
We're
Who's
the
better than
best
America?
people, and this place
Yes.
sucks are two very, very different things.
You don't think the American people are the best people on the planet?
No, not even close.
Listen to me. The
Yeah.
American people.
We're like
not the
we're like number one in the freaking industrialized world in fucking like gun violence and murder rates. Yeah, we are not the worst. Yeah.
So what would you do? You want to let all the illegal aliens stay, but you want to take away guns from Americans. Is that your point?
It's not what I said at all, sir.
Well, you just said we lead the world in gun violence, which isn't true, by the way. And if you,
I didn't say we
it
lead
is.
the world in gun violence. I said we lead the
if you-
we lead the
if you take
industrialized
it-
world in gun violence.
If you take out the top Democratic cities in America, we drop to like 150.
There are no such thing as democratic cities, sir.
There aren't? Who runs New York City? Democrats or Republicans?
Who writes the laws for New York City?
Democrats.
Correct. And why is that?
Because they got elected.
Elected to what?
State legislators.
State legislator. Perfect. Okay,
Then-
can you please name me the other Democratic cities that are high in gun violence?
They're the highest.
New York City is not the highest. Actually, I believe Gary,
No.
Indiana is the highest. Yeah.
Democratic
And if you actually go by
cities are the
state,
top.
I believe Louisiana is the highest gun violence rate
That's
state per
correct.
capita.
Yeah. But the cities are run by Democrat
But the
mayors and
states
stuff.
are the laws are Republican, sir. When it comes to
No, the
looser
laws are
gun
made by-
laws, when it comes to
The
looser
laws are
gun
made by
laws, sir, it's always Republicans that are doing it. Alabama
Well,
is very
American-
high. Louisiana is
Oh,
very high.
It's run by
Yeah.
Democrats.
It's run by Republicans.
Birmingham, Alabama. is
Birmingham,
run by Democrats.
Alabama does not make the gun laws.
Do you even know what you're talking about, there?
Yes. Who makes gun laws?
Let me ask you this. Have you been around the world at all, man?
I have. I've been to, I
You
believe
know-
it's 34 different countries now. How many have you
And-
been to?
A lot.
How many is that? How many is a lot?
I was in the army for 29 years.
So what? There's a bunch of army. What did you see? Like freaking
I've
Iraq
been
and
to
Afghanistan?
Over 50 countries.
You've been to
I've over
60. That's
50
good.
countries. Over 50.
Hmm.
And let me tell you, America is far better than anywhere I've ever been.
Oh, then you're
Yeah, but-
crazy. There are so many places I'd rather be.
Name one.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand would be awesome. Honestly, I've been highly considering Australia lately. That sounds like it's really nice. I would love to go to like most of the Scandinavian countries, but like
do you
they're
understand-
cold. They're really
understand in
cold.
those countries,
South
they-
Korea is
they don't
awesome.
need
A
the
little
water to
crowded
clean
for me.
it out?
Singapore would be amazing. That's a great point. Someone said Singapore. If I could afford Singapore, Singapore is one of the most gorgeous countries I've
I
ever
heard
been
that's
to,
very
and
nice. I heard
clean.
that's
Oh,
very
it's
nice.
great.
I've never been there.
It's
But you know
absolutely
they can
amazing.
the cops can just come into your house whenever they want. You know that, right?
You can do that here.
No, they need a warrant.
No, actually, Christine Ohm just, they just had an ICE memo go out say that judicial warrants aren't necessary for them to break into people's houses.
That's unconstitutional.
I agree. And literally, ICE just told all their people that they could do that, and they defended it.
That's not going to hold up in court, man.
Why does it matter if it holds up in court if they just do it?
Because they're not going to do. They can't do that, man.
They're literally doing it right now. They are currently doing it in the
I've
United
never heard
States
that.
right now.
I've never heard that.
Yep.
I've never heard that.
Yep.
I've never heard that.
I believe the vice president of the United States defended it.
I haven't heard that. And I watch the news
Yeah.
every day, and I hear everything. I didn't like what they said about just carrying a gun somewhere. I didn't like that.
Yeah. They're
But we-
they're not only against illegal search and seizure, but also against the Second Amendment. That's the current administration.
But don't we agree that we have to do something?
About what?
This can't continue. About the illegal alien.
I already gave you a solution.
That's not a good one.
No, that's again not a good one to you, but that's subjective. In my opinion, it's an excellent one. In your opinion, it's a bad one, right? But
Because let
mine
me ask
saves
you-
us a whole shit ton of money, adds a
But
whole
how
bunch
about
of
this?
tax revenue, and creates a whole bunch of jobs, while also not being inhumane or horrible to people.
re-
So yeah.
You ready for how this all comes to an end?
When we finally get Trump out of office and make
Well,
sure that
but
no one in
someone
his
else will take over.
administration ever holds a freaking position in our government ever again.
So you're okay with, like, say, a Democrat coming in and making a whole bunch of laws that hurt Americans, right?
Like
It's
what
the
law?
Same thing.
Like
Dude,
what law?
Any law. Say, like you just said, they can break into your house whenever they want.
No, I would
or they
freaking
can
100%
seize
be
your car.
against that, and I would
Yeah,
never vote for a Democrat that said that they want to do that.
I agree.
Yeah, but I'm not a
But-
Democrat, so I don't know why you would think that.
I didn't think you were a Democrat. I was just making a point.
Well, you
Because
said I
listened
would
to your
vote for any
channel.
Democrat that did X, Y, and Z. So
Well, then I guess I was wrong.
yeah, I'd vote for lots of Republicans if they were freaking, if they were
They-
morally, morally better people than the Democrats. Like if that's what it came down to, I want somebody that's in the presidency who is an actually genuinely good person. Because again, a lot of the decisions that are made right within our presidency, within our executive branch, right, happen behind closed doors. And I want the person that's making
That's
those
correct.
decisions to be morally sound, right? Donald Trump is a felon. felon. He's been adjudicated of sexual assault. He's defrauded a children's cancer charity. He's currently hiding the Epstein files. He literally freaking sexualized a 10-year-old. He sexualized his daughter. He freaking brags about sexually assaulting women. He brags about going into freaking dressing rooms of women when they're changing it without their consent, right? These are all things that Donald Trump has done. He cheated on his first wife with his second wife with his third wife with a porn star, right? So he is very morally corrupt. And when he was asked what would be a valid check on his power, he said only his morality, which does not seem like a very good check on his power to me. So I will take a Republican over a corrupt Democrat, and I will take a Democrat over a corrupt Republican, and I will take either of those over how corrupt our current president is, as he's literally uses his freaking presidency to enrich himself and funnel money into Qatari bank accounts.
Was Joe Biden corrupt?
Was Joe Biden corrupt? No.
Yeah, he wasn't.
No.
You don't think so?
No, he was not corrupt.
What do you think about these?
Was he the
politicians
best
that are in
president
office for
ever?
50
No,
years?
he wasn't corrupt. Those are two different things.
He was probably one of the worst. Let's be real.
He wasn't, actually.
Do you think they covered up his mental acuity?
Do they think they covered it up? I think we all kind of saw it.
Well, how come he stayed in office 4 years? He really didn't know what was going on.
No, he knew what was going on, sir. I think that you're freaking misplacing like his age catching up with him to him not knowing what's going on. I think his age caught up to him, but this is why I also think that we shouldn't vote 80-something-year-olds into the presidency.
I agree.
Yeah, but yet you still support an 80-something-year-old being president because you're doing it right now.
No.
Yeah, you support Trump, don't you?
I support America.
Won't he be 80 this year?
He will.
Oh, so you support 80-year-olds being in the presidency.
Hold on.
I voted for the 60-something-year-old. You voted for the 80-year-old.
Who was the 60-something?
Kamala Harris.
Oh, come on, bro. You can't say she was a good candidate. Let's be real.
I don't know if she was a good candidate, sir. She was just light years better than
Let me
Biden.
ask you this.
Or better than
Well,
Trump. She was
why
light years
didn't they
better
have
than
a
Biden,
primary?
too, if you want to be completely honest.
Why didn't they have a primary?
Because they had already had one.
And Joe Biden was the winner.
Well, Joe Biden's electors were the winner.
Well, Joe Biden was the winner of the ticket. So if
No,
you're gonna
Joe
put a new
Biden
person
was
that-
Joe Biden's electors were the winner.
No, when you have a primary, you elect a person.
Incorrect.
So how did Joe Biden? How was he leading the ticket?
Yeah.
Let me
So
ask
when
you
you
thought it
actually
was
vote
okay
in a
just to put her in charge.
Yeah, so
You
when
think
you
it was okay
vote,
just to-
sir,
Yes.
when you vote for an actual primary, you don't vote
Yeah.
for the candidate. It actually says it on your ticket. You have to read the whole thing. But actually on your voting ticket, it actually says this is not a vote for the candidate. It's a vote for an elector that the candidate will
Yeah,
select.
the electorate,
Right.
and they add up the electorates and they give it to somebody.
No. You're voting for an elector that is picked by Biden. And then that elector goes to the convention. Okay. And then that elector votes for the candidate. The delegate votes for it. Okay. So you voted for, when we voted in a primary, we voted for an elector, a delegate that Biden would pick. Biden picked those delegates. Okay. And then dropped out of the race. So then it becomes what's called an open convention. And in that open convention, anybody can run. And
So
out of
nobody
all
ran,
the
but-
people in the world that could run, only one person did. So
Nancy Pelosi even said they should have had an open primary.
they did. Well, they had an open convention, but Nancy Pelosi doesn't run the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has
But that was
rules.
her opinion. That's right. See, there you go.
You know they're the same rules as the Republican Party, right? If Donald Trump had dropped out after he won, after the primary, the same thing would have happened.
Well,
Yep.
we don't know.
No, we
But
do
you
know
just
because
said
that's,
something. Hold on,
sir,
you said
we
something.
do
Go
know
ahead.
because those are the rules of the Republican Party, just like they're the rules of the Democratic Party. They're the same rules.
Isn't it? You said. Oh, you said it again. Rules.
Yeah, what part of our government does the Democratic Party like what part do they hold?
What do you mean?
Yeah, where in our government is the Democratic Party?
Well, they're in the House. They're in the Senate. What are you talking about?
No, the Democratic Party, not people that are elected as being Democrats. The actual Democratic Party.
Well, the Republicans have control of everything, but they have.
No,
they,
sorry.
they
Maybe
can't
I'm not
say
asking the
anything.
question the right way, so I'll go ahead and inform you, okay? Both the Democrat and the Republican
Oh, okay,
parties.
go ahead.
Yeah, both the Democrat and the Republican parties are private organizations. They do not belong to our government at all. They are private.
I know that.
And so therefore they create their own rules, okay? And if you don't like the rules and you're part of one of those parties, what you can do, right, is you can vote and you can go to their meetings and you can get to it like a rule change when it comes to those. But if you're not in that, you don't get to complain about the rules that they have, which is what you're doing.
So the rules, like the Republicans have their own Republican little deal, and the Democrats have their own little Democrat little deal.
Yeah, but this rule's the same in both, actually, which is funny.
My point is, I believe that they're sort of in this together to keep the American people juiced up, because we're all going to find out that they've been ripping us off for a long time.
Sir, we don't need to find out they're ripping us off. Donald Trump is currently ripping us off. Like, he's currently doing it. He's not even hiding it, sir.
What about the Democrats?
What about the Democrats? Like you most eloquently said just a second ago, the Republicans own both houses of Congress. They own the judicial system, and they own freaking the executive. Right now,
So then
there
you
is
should
no
be
left versus right, and they're both screwing us over. It is all the right
believe that.
screwing us over. It is a whole bunch of people on the right screwing us all over, all right now. Okay, there is no Democrat screwing us over because none of them are in power.
What about Minnesota and California?
What about them?
California spent $24 billion to help homeless, and it got worse. Where'd the money go?
To the homeless.
But there's more of them.
Yeah. Not every
So
plan works out well, sir.
So you're okay
Sir,
with
how would
Newsom
how
not signing the
what
bill?
would what would you do with $24 million to help the homeless? What plan would you do? Can you give me a detailed plan?
First thing, I would stop the drugs. Drugs is the major problem.
Actually, drugs have been shown very specifically not to be the problem, and actually
mental health.
and then generally a symptom. And mental health is also not the major contributor of homelessness. Neither of those are the
What is
main.
it? What is it? You seem to know.
Yeah,
everything,
it's
so tell me.
it's literally just financial distress that usually causes it. Usually,
That
freaking
happens
one time.
too.
Yeah, it's not.
That's
It's
right.
not drugs. It's not mental health. It's none of those things. Actually, again, things like the economy are usually the largest drivers of homelessness. Drugs actually
or
tend to be a
maybe-
symptom of that.
Or maybe it's all the illegal aliens taking houses from Americans. That might be contributing to it too.
Well, sir, you must have never bought a house.
I have an outstanding one right now.
You bought a house?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember how much shit you had to prove in order to buy that house?
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. How do you think an undocumented immigrant proves that?
So how are they flying across the country then?
Sir, it's a simple question, sir. Because I mean, they went so far into my finances. Okay, like I
Myself.
literally, that loan officer had his freaking hand so far up my ass and into my bank account
too.
and every dollar I ever spent. And I'm just
So then-
saying that an undocumented immigrant who can't even get a bank account, I don't think they're buying houses.
So then where are they living?
A lot of times with family.
With
Friends, they all get together and do stuff like that. Actually, in the area that I grew up in, it was actually very common. You would actually see, large, like, because I grew up I grew up in Cali, but I grew up in like kind of not the best part, but kind of more, where there was a little more land or whatever. And you'd have freaking like one piece of property with like 6 freaking like, RVs or mobile homes or like all sorts of stuff on them. And they'd all just be living in that one little spot. But I know I've rented many apartments before I bought my house, and I rented houses before I bought my house, and then I bought my house. And I know none of that shit is happening if you are an undocumented immigrant and you can't even get a bank account. So
then how are they surviving?
not very well. But they're
doing well.
surviving. So
They're doing better than homeless veterans.
they're doing better than homeless veterans? Well, I disagree.
Absolutely.
I disagree with that, sir.
Well,
but
let us get-
though
why
we
did they
do
put
have a homeless
illegal
veteran,
aliens
though we
in
do
New York
have
City?
a homeless veteran problem in this country because our country
And how come no
treats
one's
vets
talking
like
about
shit. What are you talking about? There
But
was
they were talking
multiple.
about illegal aliens.
There was literally
No one's talking
multiple bills by Democrats under the Biden administration to address homeless veterans, and they
wasn't
were
one
all
bill.
shut down. Yes, there was.
wasn't one.
Yes, there was.
There wasn't one.
Yes, there was.
There wasn't one.
Yes, there was.
I've never heard Joe Biden mention the word veteran.
You never heard Joe Biden mention shit because he never fucking
Never.
talked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
it doesn't
that?
mean that
Why-
the bill
how
does.
come-
It doesn't mean the
how come
bill
he never-
doesn't
how come
exist.
Joe Biden, hold on. How come Joe
It doesn't
Biden never
mean the
talked?
bill doesn't exist.
How come Joe Biden never talked?
I don't know. He just never did. He wasn't very good at freaking talking about himself. I tell people all the time.
Because he was out of it.
I tell people that all the time. The difference between Trump and Biden is Biden does a whole bunch of shit and never talked about it, and Trump does a whole bunch of nothing and talks about it consistently.
You think Democrats have a better record?
Yeah,
of doing
2024, the Department of Veterans Affairs set a goal to place at least 41,000 homeless veterans in a permanent housing. Alongside this, legislation titled the End Veteran Homelessness Act of 2024, HR 8560 was introduced to expand HUD VASH voucher
It wasn't a
eligibility.
standalone
The
bill.
initiative aims to reduce housing barriers for veterans.
It wasn't a standalone bill.
Sir, I just informed you of it. How are you telling me it's not a standalone bill? You didn't know it existed.
It was tucked into
Sir,
another bill.
Sir, you didn't know it existed
I did know it
literally
existed. I did
15
know it
seconds ago. You just told me 15 seconds ago that there was zero legislation that happened under the Biden administration that addressed
Did it pass?
veterans
Did it
homeless.
pass? Did
And
it
then I
pass? Did
tell
it
you
pass?
about a piece of legislation,
Did it
and
pass?
now you're telling me
Did it pass?
whether it was a fucking standalone bill or not.
Did
That
it-
is
did it-
absolutely
did it
nuts.
pass?
I
Did it
don't believe
pass?
so, no.
Yeah, why?
Let's go look.
Well, I don't have a computer, so.
I do.
All right, look it up. Let's go. Let's
I'm
do
going
it.
to.
Dude, I'm loving this conversation, dude. This is awesome. I think me and you should be in
Yep.
charge. We can fix a lot of
HR
stuff.
8560.
Uh-huh.
Introduced
What
by
year?
Representative Mark Takano, Democrat, California, 39th district.
District, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Introduced to the
What
House,
happened with
never
the vote?
brought to the floor by Mike Johnson.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I'll have to look. I'm going to look into that.
So Republicans stopped it.
Maybe there's a reason. See, that goes back to my point. They're in it. I'm telling you, I think these Democrats and Republicans are in this stuff more than we think together.
I mean, I'm
To
looking
keep
at the
us
bill
under
right
control.
now, sir. It looks like it was standalone to me.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Hold
It was
on, let me
standalone.
look
It
it
never
up.
even got a chance to be combined with anything because the Republicans never brought it.
What's the bill number? What is it?
HR 8560.
8560. I'm going to look that up. I'm curious about that because I'll be pissed off if that's true. So, see, me and you should be in charge. We can fix all this stuff.
Well, at least at least I could. I don't know if I
Oh,
could
you don't
fix
think
it.
I could? Not everything. But we have to do something. I'm telling you, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, that's what I was
People are
saying,
gonna get
Roman.
killed.
That's what I was saying. Who the fuck is we? Like, I got a frog in my
What do
pocket.
you mean? No. Well, you think you're real smart, don't you?
No, not particularly. To be completely honest with you.
So how long do you think this is? How many more people do you think is going to get killed before Republicans and Democrats stop?
Hopefully not anymore. But right now it's not Republicans and Democrats because again, Republicans are the only ones in charge and they're the only ones killing people. So
Who's killing people?
ICE, Customs Border Protection.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this: if I was in my car and going to run you down, and you had a gun, would you shoot me?
Well, what's the situation in total?
You're in front of my car, and I jam on the gas.
So I walked in front of your car?
Yes.
Well, I mean, then I can't legally.
Dude,
That's
you're in
what's
front of my car,
that's what's
I'm
called
gonna run you down.
Yeah, so that's what's
I'm
called a
gonna run you down.
manufactured threat. And it's not legal.
You don't think a car is a weapon?
I didn't say a car isn't a weapon. I said it's not legal for me to stand in front of your car and then view your car as a threat. That is illegal. That was in Brusow versus Hagen, 2004. District court case.
So, let's say I'm walking across the street and you're going to run me down. I have a gun. I can't.
That's
kill you?
completely different. I didn't walk in front of your car.
What do you mean?
Let me put it this way, sir. Say that it's a busy freeway. Okay? And I walk into the busy freeway. Okay. And then you are driving your car down that busy freeway. Am I then allowed to shoot at your car?
No. That's
Why not? You're driving a deadly weapon at me right at that spot. That is a missile. You are literally driving a deadly weapon directly at me, sir. Why can't I shoot you?
Because I put myself there.
Exactly, sir. That is the exact point that I'm making, sir.
That's what that
That's
woman
the
did.
exact point that I'm
That's
making.
what that lady did.
That CBP officer put himself in the busy freeway and then shot when the car was coming at him.
That lady put herself there.
The lady was already there. He put himself in front of the vehicle.
No,
She was in the car, in the driver's seat with the car on before he stepped in front of the vehicle.
Let me ask you this. If me and you are hanging out, we're buddies, and a cop's going to arrest you, and I start getting in the way of the cop, am I breaking the law?
What?
If me and you are hanging out, and a cop is going to come to arrest you.
Well, what's the cop arresting me for?
Let's just say you had an open, whatever. He's making up something, whatever.
He's making up something? Well, then no, it's not really illegal for you to do anything because he's against the law because he doesn't have probable cause.
You're right. Let's just say you threw something at a building, a beer bottle.
I threw something at the building? Whose building? Is it my building? Because I can throw a beer bottle at my own building.
Listen to me. You committed some sort of little crime. Let's make up a crime. Jesus Christ, bro. Play the game. You made up a crime, okay? And a cop comes along and says, hey, you. I don't know your name, sir. I apologize. I don't know your name. Hey, you, come here. And he wants to, you just did something. Whatever you did. You broke a car window. You spit in a woman's face. Whatever you did a crime. Okay? Can we agree on that?
The cop is just coming up going, you did a crime. You did a crime. All right. I'm playing. You know what? I'm into the scenario now. I'm into the scenario.
Okay.
I was standing there. I was standing there just doing crime.
Interrupting me, dude? Dude, I'm being very polite.
Just doing
you keep
crime.
interrupting me. Can I talk? Me and you were walking down the street, and you committed some sort of little crime. Okay, you did it. You broke the law. Okay, you broke the law. Me and you were buddies. You're hanging out.
We're buddies.
Right?
We boys. We friends.
Right?
We boyfriends.
Let's just say there's domestic violence in my house, right?
Oh, that's horrible.
And the cop comes.
Why are you hanging out with me if I just did domestic violence at your house?
Listen, you're not.
That sounds hard. You shouldn't be hanging out with me. I'm not a very good friend if I was doing domestic violence at your house.
This is what has to happen. Those people have to go home. You can't, no matter what it is. Do you understand that federal law trumps any state law? Do you understand that?
You know what jurisdiction ICE officers have over United States citizens?
They have none over Americans. Well, no, they have.
I'm sorry?
They're ICE immigration. Dude, who makes the laws, bro?
The legislature.
Okay, so when Obama was in charge, who controlled the government in 2008 when Obama was in charge?
In 2008?
When Obama was in charge, didn't Democrats
in
control everything
2008 when Obama was in charge? Let's see. Okay, in 2008 when Obama was in charge, who was in charge of the government?
When did he first get elected?
That would be George W. Bush because Obama wasn't president. Yeah.
Well, when he became president, I apologize.
He did not become president in 2008.
When he was elected, they had control of everything, right? Democrats did.
I don't believe the supermajority started until later, until the midterms. But
so
I can't
why
remember.
didn't they change the immigration laws?
Oh, they should have. They should have changed a lot of laws.
Why didn't they?
I don't know. They should have.
Because they didn't want to.
But I don't know why they didn't, sir. Do you know? Do you have
I
some
don't
type?
know.
Do you have some type of
wish they
proof on
would.
why they did or didn't? They should have changed our immigration law because it was like 40 years old at that point. They
wish they
should have
would.
codified Roe versus Wade. They
should.
should have done a whole bunch of shit. I don't know why they didn't, but they didn't.
They passed a banned healthcare bill.
They passed a healthcare bill that literally provided healthcare for freaking tens of millions of Americans.
So I believe if you have to put subsidies in anything, I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, then I have a whole bunch to tell you about Donald Trump and his subsidies.
Oh, I know he does. I don't like it. I don't like it. You shouldn't have to. The government. That's not the way it should work.
That's exactly how it should work. That's literally the point of the government.
And they could have changed the healthcare. They could have made healthcare better for everybody with simple things, and they just didn't do it.
Right, I
Like,
agree.
if
They
you
should have
buy
passed universal health care instead of. They should have just done universal health care instead of the Affordable Care Act, and then we'd all have health care right now when we wouldn't have the number one cause of debt in the United States being medical care.
That's
it would actually help our homelessness freaking epidemic also, because then we wouldn't have people losing their houses and stuff over medical debt.
I'm more into buying insurance through state lines and personal savings accounts.
Oh, I'm for just providing health care for people because health care is a right. Yeah. And as much dumb shit as we spend taxes on, I think healthcare would probably be the best one that we ever had.
Well,
actually,
like in
all those
America,
countries
for
you
years-
asked me if I'd rather be in, all those countries I'd rather
Yeah.
be in, they all have universal healthcare. It's pretty awesome.
Well, they don't have as many people living here. There.
China has
New
universal
Zealand has
healthcare. India has universal healthcare. They both have more people than us.
I don't know if that would work in America because the government's running the healthcare. You think that's a good idea?
Yeah. Have you ever looked? You said you're a veteran, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that the VA like leads in like
Dude,
a whole
listen,
bunch of
don't
different
tell me about the
categories
VA,
of?
bro. Don't tell me about the VA, bro.
Sir.
Okay? I got to deal with the VA every day.
How about you let me
Okay?
finish what I was saying before you start yelling at me on what I was saying?
I'm not yelling.
Okay.
I'm not yelling.
I'm not
This is
saying the
delay on
VA is the
phone,
best
moron.
healthcare. I think it could be a lot better. But when it comes
How
to
would you make it better?
preventative healthcare, things like cancer screenings, okay, they are actually way ahead of private healthcare.
Are you a veteran?
Why does that
Are you a
matter?
veteran? Because then how do you know what you're talking about?
Because the VA and a whole bunch of other independent organizations all report on this data. And so me being a veteran or not being a veteran wouldn't change that data.
I go into the building. Let me tell you, that's not how it
Congratulations,
works, bro.
sir. When you go into the
That's not
building,
how it works.
do you run down their data?
I know how long it takes to get an appointment.
Sir, again, I'm not saying that the VA is the best type of healthcare. You're not listening to
healthcare
me.
you want.
Listen to
Yes, I
what
am.
I am saying. Listen to the words
You
that are
said
coming.
Universal.
Sir.
You said universal.
Sir, hello. Listen
Yes,
to
go
the
ahead.
words that are coming out of
I
my
hear the
mouth.
words.
When it comes
Go
to
ahead.
things like preventative healthcare, like cancer screenings, the VA is ahead of private healthcare.
That's because private healthcare costs too much. That's why. Because it costs too much. Because Democrats and Republicans made it cost too much. Right? Correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you?
So if preventative healthcare doesn't cover it wasn't covered as much because it's paid for by the government, then preventative healthcare screenings would get better, and then therefore we would have less need to freaking spend so much on through medical debt and stuff like that because we were able to get preventative healthcare. Yeah.
I don't think the government should be in between patients and doctors. I don't think that's a good idea.
They don't have to be in between, sir. They just have to pay for it.
Well, the government doesn't have a good track record of doing things well. Look at the post
Neither does
office, look at
private
the
insurance.
railroad. I know. So why hasn't the Republicans and Democrats fixed it? They could fix it if they wanted to. The more complex the problem, the simpler the solution.
That is literally the opposite of how solutions work, actually.
No.
Yeah. The more complex the problem,
ready?
the more complex the solution. Who told you that the more complex the problem, the easier the
Because you have
solution?
to look at things
That is the
simply.
exact
Ready for this?
opposite of how
Ready-
things work,
ready-
sir.
Ready for this? Here it is. Simple. Ready for this? All illegal aliens have to go home. Simple. Goodbye. You have to all go home. So let me ask you this. If you had a party at your house and you had 100
Oh my
people
God.
there,
How did we get back to immigration?
and it, and
Y'all, can we
after
get
the
this thing to
party's over-
350,000 likes, y'all? I really appreciate that. And if we could hit up these freaking hat and mustaches, I'd really appreciate that also.
and
Thank you
five
so much.
people said they're going to stay at your house, would you just let
Try
them
to get this
stay?
gift gallery lit up. Let's freaking do this.
Would you do
I'm
that?
sorry. I'm just the pivot all the way back to to immigration
Well,
is
we're
just
talking- we're
wild,
talking about
dude.
a
It's
bunch
just
Well, that-
absolutely crazy. Like it actually gave me
isn't
like a
that the
little
biggest
bit of
problem right now?
whiplash. I'm
Isn't
like
that the
quite
biggest problem in
confused.
America right now? Isn't? Oh, we're not fighting. You think we're fighting?
I didn't say I was
We're
fighting
having-
you,
we're
sir.
having a
I'm just saying, like,
No,
there's
we're
no
not
point.
fighting.
We
We're not
already
fighting.
did the whole immigration part of this conversation, and I don't
What
really
else
have
you wanna
much of a
talk
will
about?
to go back.
What else you want to talk about?
Probably just to the next guest.
All right, you have a great night, sir.
All right, you too.
Yes, sir.
That was we got all the way through and reverted back to the previous conversation. That was pretty impressive. That was pretty impressive. I'm pretty impressed. All right, I need 2 hat and mustaches from the same person to clear that off my gift. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Also, y'all, please make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. We just got we just went like, woo, woo, woo. That was wild. Anyways, y'all, if you guys like support, Tara, thank you so much for lighting that up for me. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That is very, very sweet. I'm trying to knock out this thing. They got all sorts of crazy ones going on me today, so I'm trying to knock this thing out. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna. I might take one more. I don't know how long we're gonna stay on with them, but I might take one more. Just to keep this thing going, y'all. If y'all would like support, I do have pay links in the bio. I have super chats and super stickers, all that fun stuff. We're going to go through a few of those, and then we're going to go back to some conversation. So I really appreciate you guys. But most importantly, like I said, thank you so much for being here. Please hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those notifications, join the Discord, and all that stuff. Xantos, thank you so much for the $10. Said, here's another $10. My wife is Filipina. We met in China and are the same age. We joke about Filipinas marrying retirees and dating the pool boy on the side. Bad joke, but it happens. What's really funny is I live in a place where there's a lot of veterans. Veterans are actually very heavy in the area that I live in, and there's so many Thai restaurants. Like there's so many Thai restaurants. Ryan, thank you so much for lighting up the hearts for me. I really appreciate that.
Insane.
There's like so many. We make fun of it all the time. Like truly, we make fun of it all the time. It's freaking hilarious. There's like so many. Phil, thank you so much for lighting up the roses. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. So good joke. Good joke. Good joke. Louise, thank you so much for the $10. Said, hey, Polly, are you direct me to the story of the child in ICE custody? I want to debate my MAGA friend. Yes, I can. You're in my Discord, right, Louise? I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. So I'll put it in there. Don't worry about it. Phil, thank you so much for lighting up the hand hearts. I really appreciate that. Oh, you guys are so awesome. We might almost be close to closing this thing out already. Oh, my goodness. Oh, we're at the DJ glasses. We're at the DJ glasses. We're at the hard one. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Harley, thank you so much for the $2. Bobby, thank you so much for the laughing disco. Don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you so much for the 6-7. Euro, thank you so much for the $2. Said, R.I.P. Alex Preddy. Good, my friend. R.I.P. to Alex Preddy, to Keith Porter, to Renee Good. I don't even know the gentleman who just died, the 53-year-old who just died in ICE custody. So yeah, so sad. So sad. I just can pray that the killing stop. I don't even pray. I don't even know who I'm praying to, but I'm praying to somebody that the killing just needs to stop. Please, goodness gracious. Absolutely horrible. Bobby, thank you so much for the laughing disco. Luis, thank you so much for the $5. Said, PayPal, I come to Puerto Rico. I really should. I want to come to Puerto Rico. That sounds like a good time. Xantos, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Can we get big W's in the chat for Xantos? He just knocked out like a whole bunch of super chats in there. He or she, actually, I don't know he or she, but he said I don't know who it is, but I believe it's a he. I think he said something that went to him being a he, but if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. I apologize. He said, I will chime in for the audience and pay another 40 total. Like I said, Xantos is going crazy. He said, when working on immigration, I filed W-7 form granting my wife an I-10 before applying, allowing her to pay U.S. taxes from the Philippines even before applying. Now, see, I didn't know you could do that. I did not know that you could pay taxes from another country with an immigration form. Xantos is teaching me a lot. For somebody else that married someone from another country, Xantos, you are a lot more informed than that last person that I talked to. So, so thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Anthony, thank you for the $5. Said, let me ask you this. And then I'm looking down, then didn't ask me a question, but oh, that was from that last guy. He kept saying, let me ask you this. That's what he's talking about. I'm sorry. I thought you were about to ask me a question. I was like looking for the question. See, I take questions seriously. I take them seriously. Oh my God, someone lit up one of the... Phil, thank you so much for lighting up the league. I couldn't even find those to put those up. I literally couldn't even find those. Thank you so much for lighting up the league ball. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That was like, thank you so much, Phil. Big thanks to chat for Phil also. Luis, thank you so much for the huge 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, big thanks to chat for the 10 gifted. Make sure you send an extra one over there for Luis if you got one of those. That is absolutely huge. Big W's for that. Incredible Stan, thank you so much for the $5. So it said the people calling in are too damn old to be this damn ignorant. I'm too goddamn old. What's that? Is that Die Hard? Freaking. I'm too goddamn. What's he saying there? What's the quote in there? Yeah, I was trying to find the gift of the galleries to put on the gift goal, and I couldn't find the league ones. I don't know why. Amy, thank you so much for the $5. Said I was on the last step of getting hired for CBP and I failed. Now I understand that if I shipped out, I would quit. No money can buy my empathy. That's Lethal Weapon. Thank you. That's Lethal Weapon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's crazy that you made it to the last step and failed out. I didn't think they were failing out anyone. Did they do some type of test that was like do you have empathy? And you were like, yes. And that like fucked you. Is that what it is? Thank you, Corey. I'm getting too old for this shit. Yeah. That must have been it. You must have been like, I have empathy. And they were like, denied. I wouldn't shoot a puppy. Good thing you got denied, truthfully. Thank you so much, Amy. Gentle, thank you so much. Paulie is a dirty crime doer. I am. That's the truth. Pixie said, let me ask you this. Are you having a good day? Let me ask you this. Am I having a good day? I'm having a pretty good day. Actually, a pretty good day. Dave said, this caller is awful. Want a train fact? I think we're going to skip with the train fact, Dave. But we do need to get you back in for a good train fact. Save it for another day. We're definitely going to do it. Shadow, thank you so much for the jewels. Derek, thank you so much. Leroy, thank you so much. Leroy. Derek, thank you for the $5. I know a bit about politics, and my son said I should do what you do. As I told him, there are levels to this, and you're at the highest level. I don't know if I'm at the highest level, but I've been working at this. I've been doing this a long time. All right, I've been doing this a long time. So, I've been trying over here. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Jump in a few conversations every once in a while. You never know. It's actually dealing with the mental stress of it is actually like the hardest part. It really is. Wade, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Maybe, thank you so much for the jewels. Wade, thank you so much for the jewels. That's the GG keys. I appreciate that. And AE, thank you so much. Colin, thank you so much for the $2. Just said, show it to me, Polly. I don't know what I'm showing you. Gregory sent me, the population identifying as two or more races grew from 9 million, 2.9% in 2010 to 38.8 million, 10% in 2020, a 276% increase. Oh, okay. I see why so this is like the white supremacist, like great replacement theory shit. That's what you were talking about with that stuff. And yeah. I mean, we are literally, we're literally like We're fucking people out of existence. Yeah, we're fucking white people out of existence. That's the truth. Hey, what are you gonna do? Can't help it. All right. Don't let them see this though. It'll drive up their membership. Okay. Don't let them see this. All right. We just do it better. Okay. We just genuinely do it better. All right. So I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Thank you so much, Tara. Have a wonderful night. All right. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Danielle, thank you so much for the $20. I really, really appreciate that. I couldn't find the DJ glasses. Thank you for making my night entertaining, educating me, and schooling MAGA. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that so much. I really do appreciate that. That is very, very sweet. I forgive you on the DJ glasses 100%. So thank you so much, Danielle. That is very, very sweet. Can we get a big W's in chat for Danielle for that $20 over there? I really do appreciate that. One time I have been on for like 3 hours, but I literally have nothing better to do. So my phone is still ringing. Should I take one? It won't be as long of one, but I might do just one more. I might just do one more. Let's see. If I can get a good caller, I'll take it. I'll take one more. Jen, thank you so much for the $5. Said, love your face. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jen. All right. Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. If I can get a good call, I'll give it like one shot to get a good one. I'll give it like one shot. All right. I did put the DJ glasses up too, just in case he wants to find out. Hello, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. How old are you?
30.
What year were you born?
95.
Yeah, I guess that checks. All right, so you still support Trump?
I would say I'm a Trump supporter, yes.
Awesome. And why would you do that?
I think between the two candidates, I think that Trump has a better long-term vision for the overall success of the country.
And what's that vision? Just whiter?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with color, but more so prosperity of all Americans.
Okay, and what's he doing to improve the prosperity of all Americans?
Obviously, there's thousands of moving parts or millions of moving parts every day that an administration does. But, for example, I think that lowering the tax burden on people is something that the everyday American can benefit from.
And how does the average American benefit from that?
A very simple example, but not limited to, would be, say, not taxing people's tips or not taxing the overtime.
Yeah, so I don't personally have a huge issue, right, with doing tax reductions for tipped workers, for doing tax reductions for overtime. I don't have a huge problem with that. The problem is that Donald Trump is then adding in the tax of tariff on top of that, right? Where there was just a new study that came out that showed like 96 or 98% of all tariffs are paid by Americans, right? So he's giving a small, tiny little group of tax deductions for certain people that work for cash only tips or certain people that work a small amount of overtime, right? But then he's adding a huge tax that goes well and above that when it comes to the tariffs.
Would you feel that the tariffs is subjectively a thing that might not be better for us right now in this exact moment, but maybe in a year or 2 years, we will see the benefit of it? And how you said that you saw a study or data that showed that Americans were paying the large majority of it. Is there a potential that, I don't want to say skewed, but I mean, is there not a lot of data where it's hard to actually pinpoint a statistic on that?
Oh, not really. Well, so first of all, sir, whether it's good in the long run is not the conversation that we're having. You're having the conversation about a reduction in taxes, right? And I'm showing that the tariffs are not a reduction in taxes. They're an increase in taxes, right? That go well and above any tax break that Donald Trump is given, right? So that's one side of it, right?
That's
We can
fair.
talk about whether they're good or not, but I think on another, to go further in that, right? If we're talking about tariffs, who pays a tariff just in general?
My response, I guess, would be that I personally don't have the factual data.
Sure, not a problem.
That
I'll inform you. Not a problem. Okay. A tariff is an import tax. That's what it is. Okay.
Right.
It's an import tax, which means it's paid by the importer. Okay. Which means it's paid by the person in the United States who imports a good from overseas. Okay. So the direct tax is paid by someone in the US. It's not paid by another country. It's not paid by overseas.
Is it paid by? So let's use an example. Let's say I don't know, a toy of some sort, say an Xbox that's
Sure.
made in China or in an Asian country,
Sure.
and it's imported here. Who would be paying for that Xbox?
Yeah.
The tariff
So
on
if
that
I
Xbox.
so if an Xbox is made in China or whatever, right? And I'm GameStop, right?
Okay.
I'm an American company that sells Xboxes, right? I,
Okay.
as GameStop, pay the tariff.
Okay, so I guess my question would be, you know how there's, and I'll paraphrase it with this. One of my issues with a lot of people that, discuss politics is that there are so many people that are completely clueless to what the actual data or example I gave to my buddy earlier today is the typewriter style font of documents that actually show what the information is, and we're just seeing it on social media, and then we're forming these opinions that are fed to us in our quote unquote echo chamber of our phone. But what I was going to say is, say like a company, you know how you hear that companies take all their money overseas and they hide them in different accounts, like I don't know, say like Nike, where they say that their companies are based in other countries to avoid paying taxes in America. Is that partially accurate?
I mean, there are certain circumstances of that, but I don't know what that has to do with the tariffs as we're talking about them right now.
So I guess my question would be: is it the actual person that's paying it, or is it the company where it's not actually affecting an individual American?
So it's the companies, but the companies then pass that on to Americans. That's actually what the 96% says, right? So it's the American company that's paying it, but unless your margin is significantly larger than the tariff where you're actually going to make money, then you have to pass that down onto Americans, right? So say you take that Xbox, right? And say I as GameStop, and I don't know how much your Xbox is now. I'm PC game for, PC Master Race freaking, gamer over here. But let's say, how much is an Xbox? $500 now?
Okay.
Is that
say too much because of the tariffs? But
well, I'm just saying,
go ahead.
say the cost that me as GameStop, say that I buy that Xbox for $400 and I sell it for $500. Okay, I don't know if that's accurate.
Okay.
I have no clue. Okay, but let's just use that as an example. Okay, so if I buy that Xbox from China, right, for $400, are they really that much? Holy crap! Sorry, someone said they're like $700.
I'm looking at an Xbox One in my living room, so
Sorry, I didn't know. I said I'm PC all the way, so I have no idea how much they cost. But regardless, say that I buy that Xbox for $400 from China, right? And I sell it for $500, making 100% profit or a 20% profit, right?
Okay.
So now Trump puts 100% tariff on all goods from China, right?
Okay.
So now that Xbox, instead of me paying $400 to buy it, now I have to pay $800 to buy it. So can I still can I still sell it for $500?
Mathematically on paper, the answer would be no.
Right, because I'd be losing $300 on every single one, right?
In that scenario, yes. So I guess this would be my question to that.
Well, real quick before you ask your
One,
question,
go
before
ahead.
you ask your question, let me just finish my scenario, and then you can ask your
Uh-huh.
question. Okay. So if I have to make money on that product, right? That is now $400. Well, I was paying $400, and now it's $800, right? If I have to now pay a tariff on that amount of money, right? So now I have to pay $400 to China for it, $400 to the government, and I still need to make my $100. Well, now that Xbox costs $900. Now every single person that buys that Xbox is now paying me the $100. It's paying the government the $400 tariff, and they're paying China the $400 for making the product. Do you see how that equates to Americans paying tariffs?
In that scenario, yes.
Okay, cool. Now go ahead and ask your question.
Well, two things. One, obviously he's thrown out a bunch of, obnoxious numbers that mathematically would make it impossible to sell a good, like you said. But why don't we see say an Xbox? I don't know, because again, I feel like people debate stuff that they really don't know the accurate information, but I don't know if an Xbox has, been affected by the tariffs as a whole, in like whatever percentage of margin of the Xbox.
I truly
let's
don't
just
either.
say
I was just making an example.
Well, I agree with you, but it's like it could apply to anything. But like, let's say that it was like all goods from China and the Xbox came from China. Wouldn't you see the next day, or I guess when the next shipment that is affected by it lands on U.S. soil, wouldn't you see that have 100% markup? Where
no,
for the last 2 years, or I'm sorry, since he's been in office in January 20th last year, since he started signing tariffs into, again, I don't have the technical jargon, but since the tariffs started affecting the shipping or importing, why haven't we seen goods dramatically jump up in price to the numbers that he's speaking of, where 50%, 100%, I'm going to put 200% on Switzerland, whatever he's saying, ripping off from the side.
Yeah,
Could it potentially be that Microsoft is going back to China where the manufacturer is and saying, well, hey, look, we got a problem here because they're trying to sell it to make us pay 100% higher. You got to lower the cost of the good that you're selling to us, because otherwise we're not going to be able to purchase them, because nobody in America can afford to pay $800 for an Xbox.
Okay, so I completely understand what you're asking, and I have a very easy answer for you. It's very easy. Okay. So one, none of these tariffs have lasted that long. There has not been a single large tariff that Donald Trump has put on that has lasted long enough for it to have that full effect. Okay. Second of all, the major companies that are buying that, let's take an example that I'm GameStop. Okay. Just for an example, right? Do you think that I carry an inventory of one Xbox? No, I carry an inventory of tens of thousands of Xboxes that I already have in this country well prior to the tariff. And actually what you saw in the United States was Donald Trump was announcing that these tariffs were a possibility. And a lot of these companies were actually stocking up on Xboxes. They were like, oh shit. And again, we're just using Xboxes.
If I could just interject real quick. What I had said was at least the ones that are affected by the tariff per se that have landed on U.S. soil with the tariff label on it, where if you said that they weren't affected by it, then really the tariffs aren't affecting us as American citizens, and we're still taking advantage of that tax write-off.
No, they are affecting American citizens. You're just not seeing the 100% thing because the 100% hasn't stuck. Donald Trump took the tariffs up to China on 140%, and within 4 months had dropped them down to 30%. Right? Or I think it might have actually been even lower than that. And what
I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, but what we have seen is literally when it comes to Xboxes, and this is literally an Xbox thing, and you can look this up. When Donald Trump took office, Xboxes were about, I think it was $500, and they've gone up to $600. Excuse me. That is a literal thing that we've seen.
You really think that's because of the tariff, or you think that's like you and I were shocked when we found out that an Xbox actually cost that much? Because when we bought the original Xbox, even before the 360, they were obviously significant.
Then give me another reason why
inflation and the cost of goods.
Then give me another reason.
The goods went up.
Yeah, give me another reason why the exact same Xbox went up the exact amount of Donald Trump's tariffs since he's been president.
that the Xbox went up the exact amount since Donald Trump was in office because of you're saying the 30% is what actually stuck?
Yeah. Like, I mean, we've actually seen that
I
happen,
guess it's
right?
like we're playing hypothetical, so it's
Well,
like
we're
depending on
not
if the
really
math
playing
is actually
hypothetical, sir, because the CFO.
Well, depending on if the math is correct.
Sir, the CFO of Walmart already said that that's what they were doing. The CFO of Amazon has already said that they were doing. The CEO of Target has also said that that's exactly what they're doing.
That they were raising the price of goods?
That they had to, because their margins weren't big enough, right? That the tariff outmatched their margins and they had to buy more. They had to raise the price in order to match that. Actually, freaking Donald Trump actually came out and he was like super upset. This was like, oh, baby, it was like 5 months ago or so like that. Because someone at Amazon had proposed that they were actually going to show the before and after tariff price on their products.
I remember that.
Yeah, they were going to lose their minds because Amazon was having to pay more because, I mean, most of the shit you buy on Amazon comes from places like China, right? And so they were having to pay more for these products. You can't go back to China and be like, and some companies did. Walmart actually specifically notoriously went back to China and they were like, hey, Donald Trump is charging us all these tariffs. We want to like split the cost with you so that, so we cover some, you cover some. And China was like, you can get bent, dude. Like, that's your president. That's your country.
But do you think they really, do you think they like factually said that?
Well, I don't think that the Chinese people actually said get bent.
I hear you.
I don't think they literally said those words. No.
I guess my point is like, wouldn't you think that Walmart has the interest of its shareholders that they said, well, hey, we got to go over there and negotiate it, because if tomorrow we come out and say that everything in Walmart is going to be 60% higher when Americans are hanging on by a thread, that this is going to be a real problem, even just for our selfish own reasons of the stock that we are, obligated or we benefit from by having the company grow or, make money. So on.
I don't understand your question. What's your question?
I guess my question, you were saying that they don't actually go over there and negotiate because China would just tell them to kick rocks.
No. That did happen. That's not a hypothetical. Walmart did go to the Chinese suppliers and ask them to split the cost, and they literally said no. That is public knowledge. They came out and said that.
Interesting. And so then Walmart had to up the price of their goods that much.
Walmart had a huge stock of inventory. Right.
So it hasn't affected us yet.
It's starting to, right? They're slowly running out of their inventory as we speak right now. Right.
So you think that in the next
off.
year, as the inventory dwindles down, that the prices of items, we'll call it 30% minimum, are going to go up?
Well, no, we're already seeing it. We're already seeing it on a whole bunch of products, right? We're seeing it on things like beef. They're like is very bad. We're seeing it on things like semiconductors. We're seeing it on all sorts of products. I mean, look at the price of cars. Cars have gone up significantly due to tariffs. We're seeing it on a lot of products, and then other products we're not seeing it on quite as much yet, right? I don't think maybe we are seeing it on brooms. I don't think anyone notices that much, right? But we've already seen prices raised significantly across all sorts of products, right? Like that's happening right now.
What hangs me up on it is, with, say, for example, a car. Okay, so I'm hearing the same talking points that Fox News is going to say to try to feed me to believe that everything he's doing is right, versus a guy watching CNN and everything they say they're going to believe is right. But you know how Trump would say that, say, Germany has a very high import tariff on Fords, but then when they send their cars over here, it's a very low import tax, which it makes it very hard for us as Ford, subjectively an American company, to compete over in Europe or Germany, where it seems like the better idea might be, let's make it to where it's rather difficult it's expensive to import the cars that might create an incentive, like, say, John Deere, to come back to the United States from being in Mexico, because those companies obviously ebb and flow between countries based on international tax brackets, I guess, or who has what is the most strategic country to be in.
Okay, just to be clear, and I just want to make sure I understand what you said. You said quite a bit there. Are you trying to make an argument that this is going to incentivize other companies to come back to the United States?
I think it's hard to pinpoint one exact answer, but I think maybe the benefits, for example, like that, might be worth it for us as Americans.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And again,
So
I'm seeing on Fox News they're saying all this money's coming into the United States. Whether it's actually true or not, who the hell really knows? Because I'm not looking at the information, and most of the people that are on the internet are not looking at the actual information that's showing what NVIDIA actually did write a check for and invest in a building in the United States.
We're not talking about what we see on social media. We're not talking about what we see on Fox News. We're literally talking about just general economics, right? And in order for U.S. companies to come back to the United States, that tariff cost would have to outweigh the benefit of the cheap labor cost and the cheap natural resources and the cheap manufacturing. And none of that is true, right? So where you can like build a product in China, right? And where like they might be able to pay someone $4 an hour. And I'm not saying like $4 an hour where it's slave labor. I'm saying $4 an hour where that's like the median household income, where people are living just fine off of $4 an hour, right? Like you do have parts of China that have been, known for slave labor, like, on the Uyghurs and all that sort of, with the Uyghurs in North China and all that sort of stuff, right? You do have those people. But then you also have large parts of places like China, places like Vietnam, places like, like different countries in Southeast Asia and stuff like that, where the cost of living is just so cheap that the cost of wages is just very cheap, right?
It makes it feasible.
Right.
Sure.
So you have a product, right? Say an Xbox, right? That is paying workers, let's say $5 an hour, right? Which again is a median household income. People are not living poorly off that $5 an hour. And now you charge a 10%, you charge a whatever tariff he has on China right now. Was it like 35%, 30%, whatever it is right now, right?
Hourly, but
yeah. But then now you bring it to the United States, and now you have to pay workers in order to work in that same factory, what, $20 an hour? Well, your labor cost, far makes up, right? Like is far over what the tariff cost. It's still cheaper to manufacture over there. Plus, the factory's already built over there. Plus, the natural resources are already over there. Plus, we don't have the workforce to even build to even man those factories even currently, because the amount of open jobs in this country is very close to the amount of unemployed people in this country, right? So you have all of those different scenarios, which just makes it illogical. It just makes more sense to just raise the price and make consumers pay for it.
But would you agree that companies are coming back to the United States and investing their money here?
No.
So you think that's kind of like a fake news?
Who's coming back?
Point that's like fake news.
Who's coming back?
I believe a couple auto manufacturers are going to be coming to Ohio.
Who?
I believe Michigan. Yeah, again, I could tell you Ford, but it's like, have I sat in a Ford briefing to find out, did they actually purchase the land yet? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm it's being projected that Ford did, or Apple. I would say Tim Cook has made it relatively clear that they were going to build the glass for the iPhone, I believe in like South Carolina, somewhere over there. But again,
so what you're seeing from a lot of the car people, what you're seeing from a lot of the car people that are car companies that are coming over here, what you're actually seeing is that they agreed to build factories over here 2, 3, 4 years ago. And they were already planning on building them. And the Trump administration got in, put in tariffs, and were like, yep, see, we did that. When it's not true. They announced it a long time ago. Right? That the Kia, there was a Hyundai like steel plant and all sorts of stuff that was announced a long time ago. He's taken a bunch of credit for a bunch of chip manufacturing under like NVIDIA and like TSMC that was announced under the Chips and Sciences Act in 2022 under the Biden administration. Right? Honda.
Well, why does Jensen? Oh, go ahead.
Like Honda announced that they were like doing building here when really all they did was like switch the tooling, right? They just switched it from whatever they were building before to like I think the CRV or something like that. But they're announcing the new factory, right? Because Donald Trump just wants wins, right? He wants to be able to get on TV,
so would you say that,
talk to his base,
Jensen
and
Huang,
do that.
would you say that like Jensen Huang, when he's coming into the White House, if you will,
I don't know who
and-
that
and
is.
getting the CEO of NVIDIA?
Okay. I'm sorry, go
so
ahead.
say like him or Mark Zuckerberg or Larry Ellison, whatever. Throw a bunch of people out there. Would you say that they're like I don't want to say lying necessarily, but incorrectly saying that, hey, we just decided to invest $500 million into the next so many years, where like they feel that they would just, it's easier to side with Trump? Is that kind of your viewpoint on that?
I think a lot of people have actually decided that exact thing, right? Like I think a lot of people, and not just CEOs, like other countries, right, have decided that it is better to capitulate to Donald Trump than to just to stand up against it, right? Like I mean, you're talking about like Larry Ellison. Like Larry Ellison is a huge Trump donor. We already know that, right? Like that's not a hidden fact, right? Like he's literally doing like media mergers in favor of the Trump administration, right? So like that's not really surprising to me. But like when it comes to NVIDIA, like yeah, maybe like they had already decided to invest a certain amount. They'd already decided to build, I believe it was 7 different chip manufacturing companies in the United States. I'm not saying that they aren't deciding to invest more, right? But the factories were already here. The jobs were already here. They're just changing what they're investing in, and they're going to build more stuff here. And I think that that's awesome, but that's not because of the tariffs, right? That was already in existence. That's just an expansion, right? Like, I mean, if you look at like Apple said they were going to invest all that stuff only after Donald Trump said that Apple's products weren't going to be, like subjected to the tariffs. There's no requirement. There's
And do you think
nothing
that's
signed.
fair that Apple got that special treatment?
I think it's fair. I don't live in a world of fairness, sir. And like
I just- well,
I'm not
okay. I mean, I
trying
don't
to.
either.
and I'm not trying to be a dick. Like when I say that, I'm really not.
I agree with you. Some people would just say, oh, well, it's not fair that rich people get all this money, all these tax breaks, but it's like we don't live in a fair world. Like, what's your point? You know what I mean?
Tim Cook, in order to get the tariffs removed off of Apple, literally walked into the White House and handed Donald Trump a gold brick.
But do you really like? Is that that true belief that that's what actually happened, or is there a bunch of people and lawyers that are sitting there with thousands of pages of documents going back and forth and negotiating and actually doing the due diligence and then just proposing, showing a photo op of a gold bar for the news and then people to
Look,
argue
dude,
about?
I don't know what lawyers are doing what behind the scenes, and I don't pretend to. I know Donald Trump put a giant tariff on all the products that would affect Apple. Then Tim Cook walked up, handed him a giant literal gold brick like I'm in fucking DuckTales. And Donald Trump's about to go
And then Donald
swimming
Trump
in
just
fucking
switched his thing
gold
and said,
coins.
"Fine, you can
And
have
then
it."
immediately was like, no tariffs on Apple. That's what I
So
saw,
you think
dude.
it was that simple?
I don't know if it was that simple, but I know Donald Trump
Like,
has
it
done
seems like it
way
wouldn't
more
be
for
that
way
simple
less.
if you were involved in that, right?
Well, sir, we've seen a whole bunch of different like instances of Donald Trump literally being bribed and then literally freaking giving people what they want. Like we've seen it. I mean, look at Qatar. That's a perfect example. They gave him a jet and then immediately they agreed to freaking put Qatari Air Force on U.S.
The
Air
air
Force
base, the
bases.
military
Yeah,
base?
like it was almost immediate.
Okay, could I comment on that?
Well, I mean, regardless of what your comment on it is, I'm just saying there's multiple examples of this happening, right? Like the
Well,
CEO of Binance donated a whole bunch of freaking money
hear ya. I hear ya.
into their crypto company, and then all of a sudden he got a pardon, right?
Let me ask you this with the Qatari base. Don't you think that odds are that was being long negotiated before that?
Nope.
Just like we kind of said about the Apple investing, where you think it's like one day they just called him and was like, oh, by the way, here's this random jet. And then the next day Trump called him back and was like, yo, I got this land for you over in North Dakota.
It's not land.
Do you
It's
think
in
it was that
Idaho,
simple?
by the way. It's not in North Dakota.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But it's
Okay.
in Idaho.
I hear you.
It's not land. It's on a already established U.S. Air Force base, right? And it's not the first time we have brought foreigners. Now, someone like the Saudis, yes, but it is not the first time we've allowed foreign air forces to be on, U.S. military bases. So that's not insanely uncommon, right? But no, I do not believe. I think that he went over there and then he went over there and they were like, hey, here's this jet. And he was like, oh, cool. He's like, oh, and by the way, we would love to put some, have our pilots and Air Force train on your bases with your pilots. And he was like, well, you know what? Now that you've softened me up, I don't think that that's such a bad idea.
And you think it's that simple that within months
with
that
Donald Trump,
was
yes,
all able to get pushed through?
With Donald Trump, yes. Well, it's not like it's pushed through in a few months, sir.
And how that actually would happen,
sir. The planes aren't there. The Qatari Air Force isn't there. No, but you're acting like
FBI,
in a
CIA,
few. None of that is happening, sir. They just announced that it's gonna happen. The background checks haven't happened. The planes aren't there. They're not flying missions over there. None of that stuff is happening yet. They just announced that they're gonna do it. That's all. All the rest of that stuff takes time. But Donald Trump announcing a deal doesn't take any.
Right, but I guess even at this point, then we technically don't know if they'll actually even follow through with it.
It doesn't matter.
If the due diligence. Well, yeah, because if he says, maybe there's national security classified reasons why the government, not necessarily one individual, feels that the Qataris should, however
the
you
Secretary
put it, be involved.
of Defense literally sat down with the Qataris and announced the deal.
Right, but that's on TV. But there's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes that's actually real paperwork and negotiations that you don't see on TV.
Everything is waivable.
They just didn't walk up to each other and be like, hey, what do you think of the idea?
Everything is waiverable.
I mean, I hear you, but isn't there a checks and balances where it's like you can't just one guy can say, hey, let's waive it, and all of a sudden the courts can't stop that. The Department of Homeland Security can't stop that.
Literally, under Donald Trump's first administration, he had Don Jr. there who could not pass a background check in order to get the clearance to be in the White House, and he just waived it. Stroke of a pen.
You may be right. I can't argue it if I don't know, one way or another. My counter to it is just that it's not just applicable, like, to Donald Trump, where it's like, how many people in his first administration said, okay, Donald Trump is going to...
Sorry, I said Don Jr., I meant Kushner. I apologize. Thank you so much.
Okay, fair enough.
Same person, just one with more crack or whatever Don Jr.'s on.
Everybody said when Trump's first administration, oh, he's going to pardon himself, he's going to pardon his kids, he's going to pardon this person, that person. But then if Joe Biden's in there and he pardons, we'll say Hunter, and maybe give it to Fauci, that he got again, I can't give you the technical jargon, but that Fauci got
Do you know why he pardoned them?
So with Hunter, it was the concern with evading tax or his tax case. That
the reason why he pardoned them, he was very clear about why he pardoned them.
That's literally what
he
Hunter
literally
said on
even said why he pardoned them. Okay, he said he pardoned all of those people. So I'm not asking what Hunter said. I'm saying why Joe Biden pardoned them. He said why he did it. Because the Trump administration threatened them.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because he threatened them. He said, I'm going to use the full force of the government to go after my political enemies. And Joe Biden took that as a threat. And guess what? Joe Biden was right. Because look at what he's doing to Tish James.
You think that
look what he's doing to James Comey. Look what he's currently doing.
Donald Trump, in exchange, could have done that for his own son with the similar fear that the Biden administration would have gone.
That wasn't
after
a pardon thing,
son.
sir. I'm talking about waiving White House top secret clearances.
Oh no, we're not talking about the pardon. I'm talking about Hunter getting a pardon.
Donald Trump pardoned people convicted of funding terrorism because they donated to him. What are you talking about? Hunter Biden was convicted of a gun charge.
Gun charge and a tax evasion, or not paying his tax.
It was just a gun charge.
Well, Hunter said on a podcast that he pled guilty to not.
Maybe he fucking did, sir. Literally, that's what we're worried about. When literally he's fucking Donald Trump is pardoning people for literally funding Boko Haram and Hezbollah.
Yeah, but that's you're like pulling.
No,
like,
but what I'm saying is, sir, like the
pinpoint.
Hunter Biden thing is such an old thing to talk about. It's so boring. Donald Trump, freaking Joe Biden, freaking pardoned a bunch of people, including his own son, because he was afraid that political retribution was going to be enacted against
my
those
response
people
was,
because it
when-
was fully vindictive. And then Donald Trump got in and started freaking attacking everyone that Joe Biden didn't pardon. Like,
so I guess what I was going to say is when Trump's first administration, what I had said before was when Trump's first administration, everybody was saying before he was going to leave office that, hey, he's going to pardon his sons. This is BS, blah, blah, blah. And we could argue that he would have pardoned his sons with the fear that the Biden administration would have went after him.
why? Did the Biden administration threaten that?
I would say so based on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
Okay, cool. Then I would love for you to show me a video, a transcript, a news article, literally anything where the Biden administration threatened to vindictively go after people in freaking Biden or in Trump's family
I mean,
or administration.
Don Jr. getting injured, Don Jr. Being interviewed for Russia collusion, right? That would be like
Because
he
there
didn't
was
vividly-
proven Russian collusion.
So Hunter was proven to do the tax issue, but Don
Yeah.
Jr. was also. I don't know if Don
Sir,
Jr. was
please
actually
show me
proven
where the
because he
Biden
never was found
administration
guilty.
threatened to vindictively go after people and family of the Trump administration. You said that happened. I would like to see that, please and thank you.
I would give you like the left side of it would be that Don Jr. colluded with Russia. The right side would say that Hunter Biden worked with Burisma, right? Those are like the two.
Yes,
polar
except for
points
one
that
of those
people
is
argue.
proven and one of those was proven incorrect.
But is it really proven? Like, is
Yes.
it really proven?
There was
or is
a
it just
2.5
proven in the
year
talking point?
investigation into Hunter Biden, and they could not provide a singular piece of evidence, not a singular piece of evidence to show that happened.
And would that not be the same as Robert Mueller?
Nope,
saying that
there was a
he,
ton of
after
evidence
his
in the
investigation-
Steele
But Robert
dossier.
Mueller didn't
Like, there's a
use to
ton
press
of
charges
evidence.
against anybody, right?
Because that wasn't
Eh.
his job, sir. There was an impeachment over it.
But Robert Mueller said that he did not find any evidence of it.
That is not what he said. Did you read the Mueller report?
I read a fair share of it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
sir.
gonna say
I'm sorry,
hundreds of
but
pages
you
long, but
are
not more than
lying
20.
if you said there was no evidence of that. If
Well,
you're
why
saying
would
there's no
Robert
evidence
Mueller
of
have
that,
brought
then you
charges
didn't.
up?
Then you did not read because he was a special counsel. It's not
Right,
the job
he
of
would
a
be allowed to
special
bring
counsel.
charges up. He would be allowed to bring the charges. Would he
He
not?
gave the charges to Congress for an impeachment. That's what they did, and they impeached for it.
I don't know if
He
that's
was literally
I don't know if
impeached for it.
that's an
Donald Trump was
accurate
literally
timeline.
impeached for it. Like, it literally happened.
I don't know if that is an accurate timeline that Robert Mueller gave the impeachment to Congress and then Trump was impeached after that, or was Trump
Donald
impeached
Trump was
before
impeached
that?
twice.
And then the second time was from the Ukraine issue with the ambassador to the Ukraine on the quote unquote perfect phone call.
Sir, you should really go read the Mueller report before claiming that there's no evidence, okay?
I mean, I'm agreeing with you that I haven't read the full thing. I'm trusting that Robert Mueller.
If
he
you don't
felt
want to
that there
read
was
that,
actually enough.
if you don't want to read that, you should read the impeachment.
But in the same sense, was he actually impeached
Yeah.
by both houses?
You don't have to be impeached by both houses in order to be impeached.
So to get to be impeached as the president, it doesn't have to go through both houses. It just goes through one.
Nope. The first house decides whether the articles of impeachment are valid, and the second one decides the punishment for that action.
And both houses agreed that that was the case.
Nope. The one of them decided that he did the action. The other one decided that removal from office wasn't the necessary punishment for it.
So he wasn't found guilty in it?
Yep, he sure
It
was.
was just brought up against
He was
him?
impeached but not removed. It's like being found guilty
was-
but not
okay,
being
okay.
sentenced to prison.
Say that again?
It's kind of like being found guilty but not being sentenced to prison.
Which happens.
Yeah, with Donald Trump.
But and other people. That's not, you can't you like you
Yeah,
can't
but only
say that
one
that's
of those
just, like,
people
with
is the
Donald
president,
Trump.
but-
that's
but only-
very like
But only one of those people is the
Subjective. That's super
that's
subjective.
not subjective, sir. Only one of them is the president. So that's the one I care about.
I mean, I get your point where it's like he's
John Doe in freaking Idaho might have happened to them, but I don't care about them because they weren't elected president.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to throw another topic out there?
Nope. I've actually gone way too far tonight. Holy shit, it's already 10. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get offline. I didn't realize I'd been talking for this long.
Could I ask you one thing about the ICE immigration Renee Good thing? I know the guy prior to me mentioned that he was a little bit bouncy on how he was trying to describe
No, I'm good.
things.
Have a good night. All right. I need to go to sleep. I've been on for like I haven't done a damn near 4-hour live in like a year and a half. This is crazy. I haven't done this long of a live in like a year. Well, probably about a year at least. Holy crap. That's wild. I should do these more often. I had fun. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Guys, please make sure you guys hit that follow button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on notifications. I'm on late, so a lot of you guys have already gone to sleep, which is where I should be right currently now. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? Love you guys. All right. Bye-bye.